Hello, everybody. This is the Keep It Rolling podcast. I'm Kyle Perkins. I'm here with Tayla Meredith and
Hello.
Jay Perez.
Hello.
We have our first returning guests for episode 29 of the podcast, and we're here to do a little bit of a tournament review. So that's going to be our plan for the schedule. We also have off mic. Joey's getting a new haircut. He's freshening himself up for a competition this weekend. So Joey will be joining us in a little bit. He's getting his haircut from 40, so he's going to be looking sharp for the competition this weekend. 40's our jiu-jitsu barber. He's got his own little thing going. Yep.
Yeah.
You can train hard and then get your hair clean. So maybe that's the first thing we should actually talk about. So Joey's getting his hair lined up for a big competition this weekend. And Tayla, you're in that competition. So how you feeling?
I'm feeling ready.
Yeah, feeling excited?
I'm very excited.
Okay. So your first kind of like show match. People call them like pro matches sometimes or like, but yeah, first like kind of like just single match against somebody in front of a big group of people.
Yeah, so it's the Midwest Finishers. Going into it, I didn't know what it was. Joey was just like, "Are you free 420?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah."
Nice.
And we signed up for it.
Heyo.
We signed up for it and
Celebrating Hitler's birthday.
She's like, I thought he was gonna ask me something else.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Fun
it's Hitler's
fact.
birthday. Yeah.
But yeah, so I'm very excited about it.
Very cool.
It'll
Very
be tough.
cool. Yeah, I remember my first time getting to do stuff like that, and it makes you feel like you accomplished something a little bit, So yeah.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just if you think
Yeah.
about it, any sport that you did, you would want to like go do the higher levels of it, and this would be considered like professional, So in a very quick amount of time, you kind of made it there. So that's very cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of good people there. It'll be fun to watch everybody and watch all the matches. So I'm
Awesome.
excited.
Very cool. Very cool.
We're
so
excited for you.
Yeah, we did some training tonight. We had a nice hard training session. So let's go, Jay. How did that go for you today?
Really well. We did our 8 rounds or 8 or 10 or something like that of hand fighting, and from Monday to today, just relearning, I guess, in the sense of collar ties and outside or 2-on-1s. It's making so much sense. So I had a lot of fun just playing around, moving, getting exhausted, and being able to work through that mentally and still staying sharp with my technique.
That's cool.
And then we moved on to our positional rounds, and I got to work with Christy.
Okay.
And, yeah, her and I, we did some pretty good rounds.
Nice.
Yeah, she did really well.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so I got some good training in with Ian. That was really tough. And I think, Taylor, you trained with Joey as well, so you guys can kind of work on some stuff together. So, yeah, very good training, prepping for the tournament. And that's kind of what we're here to talk about is we've had a lot of competitions happen recently. It's kind of why the podcast has been falling off a little bit, right? We haven't been consistent on our episodes because we had a nice little run of tournaments. So a good amount of ones to discuss. I think the best way for us to do it, though, is we'll go a little bit in reverse order of when they happened just because the most recent one most people weren't at. So Joey wasn't at the last one, so I want him to be on the podcast for the ones he was in. So the most recent one we had was this Grappling Industries. And I think from here, in terms of people who competed, we had Sergio, we had Jeremiah, and then Aaliyah. Is that how you say her name?
Allie, I think.
Aaliyah, yeah, awesome. Aaliyah, awesome. Yeah, so they all did really, really good, super impressive performances. Sergio went out. He won some matches. What's up? Jeremiah, Sergio. Yeah, so Sergio went out. He's won some matches. He lost in the finals to a pretty good kid. Just a scrappy match. He had trouble tapping him, and he was having some knee problems. So, a lot of Sergio's game is based off wrestling, so he's having trouble implementing that with a little bit of a knee injury. But he did very good. It was good to see him compete.
That was also his third tournament in a row, right?
3 weekends in a row he
3 weekends
competed.
in a row.
So, it's kind of understandable that his body be a little beat up. So,
And he did 3 divisions
Sergio.
the second week.
Yes, he did 3 divisions the weekend in a row.
So, yeah, he's been busy.
He's really coming for that leaderboard. And it turns our competition leaderboard. So, so if you guys don't know about that, we've been trying to have a nice little friendly in-house competition with competition. So getting a scoring system for if you compete and if you win and results like that and kind of keeping each other accountable. So Sergio wasn't happy that Adrian was leading the leaderboard, so he went out there and did a bunch of tournaments. This is really cool. So then we also had Jeremiah compete. And Jeremiah, he's super scrappy, like probably one of the most... gifted wrestlers that we have at the gym, but he also just doesn't train that often. So Jeremiah kind of just like, hangs out a little bit. He hears the competition's coming up. He trains for a couple of days, and then he gets out there. And it was really, really impressive. He won all of his matches into the finals, and then he was dominating his match in the finals, and he got a calf cramp, and he stopped doing the match, and then that was the end of the match. Yeah. So, yeah. Where
are we at?
Yeah, it was actually really funny. So he took the guy down, and then he leg tripped him and took him down again, and like right away he's like, he started grabbing his leg, and we're like, I thought he hurt his knee. So I was like, oh man, like, is your knee okay? And he's like, no, my calf. I'm like, your calf. And he's like, a cramp. And then my brain was just like, oh no, So I started like massaging him for it. The medic came over, and then the ref came over very casually. Was just like, he loses, right? And me, of course, I'm like, yeah, of course. And he's like, what? I lose? And I'm like, yeah, of course you lose. Like, you stop the match,
Oh my God.
Very anticlimactic way to end the day, but it was
eat your bananas, kids.
Yes, eat your bananas. Yeah, don't go out the night before eating Korean barbecue. Right. Yeah, so he didn't plan it out too well, but very impressive performance. I mean, so from everything we're saying, Jeremiah could have easily won the whole tournament if he just put a little bit more effort into it. So then got a lot of potential right there. And then I didn't get to see Aaliyah's matches. I hope I'm saying it right. If I'm saying her name wrong, you can correct me. But we talked about him a little bit on Orlando's podcast, so we did a little bit of a review. She, hasn't been training that much recently, right? And got out there and really scrapped it out. And it was funny. I don't know if you listened to the last podcast, but he was saying how she saw everyone competing the weekend before and was just kind of like, I think I can do this, And then went out there and
she's like, I can take these.
Yeah, so she did pretty well. So that was really cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was an awesome performance.
She has a really quick arm bar.
Really?
Yeah,
okay.
I've seen it a couple of times. Her hit it. She was rolling with Kirsten one night.
Okay.
Right before a competition, and I'm like, okay, just kind of watching and seeing what's going on, and boom, right into an armbar. I'm like, oh damn, like she's legit. Like she knows what she's doing.
I think she's a really probably good example of someone who trained as a kid, took some time off, but then like it's one of those things that like things you learn as a kid, you don't forget them.
Right.
And her body just things she knows very well and can pull them off. So that's very impressive. Yeah, so that was a good competition. And then the weekend before that, we all went and did the Fuji competition. And we had a lot of us compete. There was like probably
30 of us.
Yeah, at least 30. I mean, but 30 plus counting the kids. Yeah. So, that's a big run of people to kind of discuss that we had compete. So let's see if we can remember everybody. So we had all the kids who competed.
Yeah, all the kids competed, did very well. The Greek boys, they competed. Santino competed.
Yep. The Greek boys competed. Santino competed. The Taz competed.
Yeah.
Lucia competed.
Yeah. Lucia had a great improvement.
Lev
from
competed.
Her
fun
first
watching.
competition to this competition.
Yeah. So let's kind of okay. So Lucia, what I remember from coaching her and just watching is I see a ton of potential for Lucia. Yeah. And I see what's happening for her is this it's a funny thing about competitions where learning to escape mount and learning to like trap and roll and elbow escape stuff is super, super important, but you get no points for it.
Yeah.
So she's out there. She's not really physically imposing. So she's going to be playing the bottom. People keep passing her guard. She keeps recomposing and they're just racking up a bunch of points. And she's doing good, right? But it's just in terms of the game, she's really losing a bunch. So a lot of potential for her, but just a very hard luck of the draw with the way the game's going. So very, very good potential for Lucia.
And then we had the Warbington family.
Yes,
they were the
Warbington
first
family. Yes.
Well, Cody, the oldest, he competed before.
Yes.
And then the other two was their first, along with their dad.
Yes,
which was cool.
That was
and
awesome.
So Cody, I really feel like he definitely had a huge improvement. First tournament went out there and kind of got a little bit blitzed, kind of overwhelmed by just the speed of the match. And then this time went out there and he fought a little bit in his first match, got tapped, and then the second match he fought much longer. He had a good fight of a match, and I think he didn't get tapped in that one. I think he might have only lost by points. He might have got tapped, but he put up a really, really good fight. And then his sister, I believe that's his sister, right, who trained as well, a little bit older. I only saw her go against Deanna, but I think she had a lot of fun. So,
her and Deanna. Deanna that was her first tournament too.
Okay.
I think. And then she won by points. But I think, they were just having fun out there.
Having fun with each other. Yeah. I think Joey said that she came up to him afterwards and was like, I'm so tired. She was just really gassed out from getting out there. So I think a really good experience for her to feel that. Getting to compete with your dad, I can't imagine how that would feel. I'm sure it's something all of us would feel like. If I got to do that, that'd be the funnest thing in the world. So
and then Carter.
Yep,
Yeah,
the whole
the whole
family
family.
did. Yeah. Oh, and then their
And
what's
then
their youngest son named Carter?
the
Okay.
youngest. So, yeah. Every practice, all we want to focus on is just mount escapes.
Okay.
And all I'm trying to get him to do is elbow escape, just elbow escape or trap and roll. That's all I want you to do. Just get on top. Just get on top. And he would look at me with his eyes like so big and like just like, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, you know it. So his first match, the kid was good, but the first match he got mounted and I was like, elbow escape, elbow escape. He elbow escaped perfectly. But then the guy just passes and it just racks up the points.
Same thing I'm talking about, right? He's doing good, but yeah.
Yeah, but I was just so proud that he finally elbow escaped and wasn't stuck in the mount.
Good.
But then he got mounted again. But I was so proud of him.
That's awesome. That's
And then
awesome.
Right after that, him and his dad had a really cute moment. And like the dad was like, I'm so proud of you. And
Good.
like it was just so sweet.
Very cool.
So,
Very cool.
Cool experience for
So
that
that's
family.
their whole family. And then how about the Taz? So
Taz competed.
Alex and then Carter got out there. Yeah. And both of them got bumped up a lot, right? They had, you know,
Yeah.
and that's been happening to them a lot. You know, it's just when you're smaller and you're younger, you know, it can happen a little bit where you get put against some bigger, tougher kids. But I'll say about both of them, I mean, they just get out there and do the match. You know, they don't have any hesitancy. You know, even if the match goes bad, I mean, I don't know, you know, if you guys I've never seen them have a I don't want to go out there again kind of attitude. So, you know, it's willing to deal with the struggle of it, you know, and that's what'll make them learn.
Yeah, definitely. And then we had Mikey. Mikey competed.
Oh, Mikey, primetime Mikey.
Mikey.
Yep. Did his little power up out there.
Mikey
yeah,
had
he
the
did. I saw
best
that.
attitude out of all the kids, I think.
I agree.
I think he was just so happy to be there.
Yep.
So happy to like watch his friends and just he was just having a good time.
I think that was a big compliment Joey got from one of the refs was he said that Mikey was like the nicest kid that he met out there. You know, just win or lose, was just happy to be out there.
Yep.
And that's what you really want to see. You want to see good character from your kids. Good. Had the nicest. I mean, and I won't, you know, I won't say any, you know, I won't mention anybody's name, but I know a kid specifically. There's one kid who you'll see almost at every single tournament, and he is wicked good. He's crazy good, but now he's competing, you know, at probably the highest level of kids. So he doesn't win all the time, and you've never seen someone freak out more when they lose, and it's like it's almost very embarrassing. He's like a very bad loser, and you know that's kind of something that's something I'm really happy that we don't have any of those. You know,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you seriously,
Yeah.
you won't allow people to have that type of attitude. So nice for Alex and Carter.
And then we had Harry and Billy.
Harry and Billy, oh man, awesome matches by them.
Yeah, they were very entertaining to watch.
Yes.
Harry's super tough. So yeah, I had to have a talk with Harry. Harry did the classic thing. It's like I completely understand it, but it's such a funny thing for me with kids. Is like they'll have a match that goes 0-0 and it's going to go to a ref's decision, and they'll stand up after the match and they're all happy because it was fun, and they go rate, and the ref raises the other person's hand and they just emotionally break down. And I'm like, yo, like you know, it didn't like just because that person, you know, decided something, you know, but I understand that for them too. But you know, that's something I learned to deal with. Like if you're happy with the way the match went, who kind of cares what somebody else said, you know?
They're just
very
so
tough boys.
passionate about it.
Yep. They're the most nervous. Okay.
And they did show up.
Awesome. Yeah. So Joey's saying they're the most talented kids, but definitely the most nervous. And you know, it's just like their dad. And you know, that's something where it's also like a weapon you can learn to use though. Nervousness is energy, you know, that you're needing to use in the moment. And sometimes you can let it overwhelm you, but if you can learn to control that, it could be a real weapon for them, I think.
Right.
Yeah. So Billy and Harry, and then we had Lev.
Awesome. So Lev's first time competing.
And he only did no-gi.
Yeah, he only did no-gi. I think he had 2 or 3 matches. And I would say for Lev, I think every kid needs to kind of have this experience where you go out there and it's a lot. You know, you go out and it's a big event. You're the only one out there in the match with some other people. You know, some kid comes at you really crazy and fast. You kind of it's too quick for you a little bit. So I think, you know, hopefully, and this is what I've noticed with a lot of kids, is that experience really improves their training in the gym. You know, it really makes them start to take it serious.
Yeah. And then we had TJ.
TJ did awesome. All right, who saw you? See TJ's?
Yeah.
Yep.
TJ, yeah.
Double
TJ
gold.
he got double gold.
Yeah.
TJ got double gold. Yeah. What do you guys
no-gi.
remember about TJ's matches?
He's a dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He had a bigger kid. Well, most of his opponents, I feel like, were taller and bigger than him, right? Like he was one of the smaller guys in his division. But the first one, it was a good exchange on the feet. TJ did a really good job taking him down. And I believe he ended up getting a rear naked choke on that kid, or arm triangle.
Yep.
I believe it was a choke submission though.
Yeah. I think he tapped
Very technical.
He almost tapped everybody.
Yeah, won by points on a couple matches.
Yeah, so the one match that I do remember was he was just mauling this kid by points, and then like right at the end, there's just kind of this I don't even know, like a lat armbar that you could do from side control, you know, that kicking your legs up, and like TJ just kind of let the kid like put him in the armbar. I was kind of like, TJ, like what are you doing? With like 10 seconds, I had to like yank his arm out to get out. It was kind of like a funny thing to happen, but he did amazing. TJ's just so smooth and so not even like over, but just the way he goes for moves, he has real confidence in his technique that he expects it to work, you know, which is something you definitely really need. So yeah.
And he had like 1 year of wrestling under his belt right now. And from when he was training with us during the summer, and then he went to school, did wrestling, and then came back, holy cow, was his wrestling just and he's a handful to deal with on the mat. Everybody here, I mean, doesn't matter who you are. If you're rolling with TJ, you know you're going to have a good roll.
Yeah, I mean he's a perfect example, and like honestly, not even that you have to, but he's a really good example of someone that like if let's say like someone like Kenny, you know, Kenny could just not get a good roll out of training with him, but if he decides to make it a good roll, you can get really good training out of someone like TJ who's hyper technical.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Speaking of Kenny, his son Santino did really good.
So impressed.
right.
Me and Kenny were talking about it this morning.
He decided to do the tournament after seeing us in Vegas.
Yes,
right.
And he just really motivated, and he's tough. And Kenny says, you know, that Santino is really kind of like aggressive and has a lot of personality at home, but has trouble bringing that out at school and at events like that. And I think, you know, he half brought it out there. You know, I think he still didn't bring out his full potential, but he brought out enough to win, and I think he's got a lot more potential, you know.
Yeah, he did great.
Yeah.
His matches were all like entertaining and stuff, and you could tell he
You watched him, Joe? Yep. He did fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay,
He
good,
did really good.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Good. Awesome. Really good. Okay, so you know, if you guys
awesome.
can't hear Joey was saying that I was a little like critical of his performance, like technical wise. And Joey's just saying, you know, for him that was a really good improvement just because I don't see him train every day. So that's really awesome to hear. That's really cool. Oh yeah, I mean that was what I was really impressive with. I mean, he really had a good idea of the concept of I'm just grabbing this person and throwing him on the ground over and over again. He had a really good idea of that's what he wanted to do.
I think that's it for the kids.
What about
Talked
Deanna?
about Lucia. Deanna, that was her first match, her first tournament.
Yep.
She went against Emily.
Yep.
And then one other girl.
Okay. I didn't see the other girl match. How'd that one go?
Didn't see it.
Okay.
I missed
Did you
it
see
too.
it?
Nope.
I don't remember.
No,
Yeah.
we don't-
Could you
Was
give me
she-
a little
was
bit
she-
about it? Yeah. Okay. So Joey's saying she went against a humongous girl from Pedigo. Okay. I'm not remembering. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember that one.
Yes, I do remember. Yeah, so the girl put in a Gogo Plata. Yeah. And so, I mean, like, that's the thing that'll happen at competitions. You'll see something like that where a kid will do a move like a Gogo Plata, or like, you know, I mean, God forbid, I think it'd be illegal, but like, you know, a kid will do like a twister or something. And you're like, that's just not what a kid should be. You know, that's a little, you know, advanced for the gray belt kids division, but yeah. So, but I mean, I think great experience for her. She's got a great attitude too. I think, you know, nothing's going to discourage Deanna. She's going to keep getting after it. Yep. The prodigy. She's
she
is.
What's up? Prada D. I like that. A Prada D. Nice. So that was all the kids?
Carter, Alex. Yeah.
Awesome. So that looks like the run of the kids. Awesome. So then we moved right into the adults. Very long day of us coaching and going through everybody.
So first adult was Jesse.
Jesse. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah. So Jesse Smith.
Injured. Did he get injured?
No.
Or no.
I don't think he got injured in terms of having to get knocked out or anything. Jesse had a really scrappy match with I don't know this kid's name, but I've seen him compete before. He's very, very good. He competes a lot. And Jesse just had this really long sequence of escaping an armbar and getting put back in, and escaping an armbar and put back in it. So I think his arm's a little bit sore, but I don't think he's injured at all.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, so Jesse's been competing. He's been getting after it a little bit. I remember going to one of the last tournaments for him, and he guillotined somebody who was really, really, feeling good about himself, and it was a really good performance. So it's nice to see him getting after it a little bit more out there.
Yeah, he's got a good guillotine.
Yep,
that's one of his better moves, and leg locks.
Yeah, he's got some tricky leg locks for sure.
Yeah, he does.
And then Simon,
oh man, Simon was fun to watch. Yeah, Simon. I mean, Simon got gold in gi, I believe, and then silver in no gi. I believe that's.
I think he was facing somebody, and like if he just had 10 more seconds, right?
Yes, he had a really close match where he almost scored, and two, he had a match that I almost had to get kicked out of the tournament for because
everyone was getting kicked out.
Yeah, Simon shot on the guy, and then like he was in on a single leg and turtle, and the guy was sprawled on top of him, and then the ref just gave the other guy points for a takedown. And I was like, that's definitely not a. Yeah. And then like afterwards, I started asking him about it, and he just like his answer was very just wrong, and I was just like, all right, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, but Simon very good. I mean, I was just hand fighting with him today, just a very aware athlete. And then two, I was going to bring this up in class and I didn't, but I was just super impressed. Simon was doing, I believe it was the 10-minute round with Mauricio. And I think he was just kind of giving the business a little bit. So he like stopped like in the middle and he told Mauricio how to frame properly, and it was just like, for me, like that's awesome as a teammate, helping your teammate out. But two, what you'll mostly see from white belts is, hey, let me show you this, flip dip trip, 360 armbar. I know it's not like something that's very specific and helpful of like, here's how you frame. Yeah. So that was just a very, very awesome. Impressive to see by him. Yeah.
And then we had Miguel,
awesome.
Kind of going in the order that.
No, it's good. Yeah. So just to see, Taylor's going over the smooth comp list of everybody that competed. So, Miguel. I don't think Miguel had competed since he had done the ADCC
This
Open.
Was his first purple belt.
First competition at purple belt as well.
Right?
That could be right, yeah.
Yeah, I think
I'd believe it would have to be, yeah. Belt. So, good, impressive by Miguel. He did the absolute. He did the absolute division, so a lot of pretty big guys. But I definitely saw him win some matches, nice sweeps and stuff. Miguel's always got a really impressive guard. If he gets on top of you, it's going to be hard to move.
Yeah. And then Nam,
awesome. I didn't see a lot of Nam's matches. I saw him out there. Yeah.
Nam and Thad were in the. They were
they're in the same division.
Same division, yep.
Joey, what do you remember about Nam's matches?
He had a really athletic opponent in his first match.
Okay, so really athletic opponent for Nam.
There was an awesome arm drag scramble where he like got on top and went out of bounds.
Okay, so it's so he had some nice scrambles on the arm drag. Okay.
And then he won a match, and then he ended up facing.
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so here's the rundown we just got from Joey. So he had a really good match with a super athletic guy. A lot of arm drag sequences trying to bake to back, them going out of bounds and stuff. And then ended up losing that match probably by points. Won another match after that, and then competed against Thad, who's one of our other competitors, and ended up winning that match.
Yes.
But I remember watching; it was a really good match for Thad as well.
Yep.
Nam is a
very technical grappler.
yes.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. Yes. Yeah. So. Yep. So. Yeah. So if you guys didn't hear Joey right now, what he's talking about is the difference between being like a super technical grappler versus someone who uses your attributes a little bit more. Someone who's fast and physical and flexible and all that type of stuff. Yeah, just kind of has some constitution to you, that dog, and that bite. If you're competing, you can be a much more technical than somebody, and if they got that fight in them, it can be really hard to beat somebody like that. So it is something you got to learn if you want to compete for sure.
I will say, I think it'd be better to have the fight first and then learn the technique.
Yes. It's hard to teach somebody the fight.
Yeah.
I mean, it's and so like I think Nam definitely has like fight in him. You can learn, you can build physicality to yourself, right?
Yeah.
You know, he's definitely not a quitter. You know,
Yeah.
so that's like a good thing. But I agree with that. You can't make somebody, you know, a tough person. It's a pretty hard thing to do. You know, yeah.
And I think he would even say like he's not a very competitive person by nature.
Yes,
anyways.
yes.
So
you know.
it's for him to get out there and compete was pretty awesome to see him out there and doing, you know, really good jiu-jitsu out there.
It showed like how much of a good team environment is around here, that it's like, oh, everyone's doing it. I want to be a part of that with everybody.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then we had Phil and Josh in the same.
Yeah.
Same
So
division.
Phil and Josh.
yeah, so let's give a breakdown. So Phil is the Warbington's dad.
Yeah.
And so
First
I believe
competition.
Joey was saying Phil's only rolled like once or twice. Oh, okay. Okay, he's rolling. Okay,
minutes.
so I was wrong. He hasn't rolled just once or twice. He's rolled 3 total minutes ever, and he did a competition. Man, so yeah, just got out there with his
But
kids
he
and
did great.
scrapped it out. He won a match.
He did.
It was amazing. So
What happened when he rolled 3 minutes? Can you guys hear me?
no, I don't. So Joey's asking if
After rolling 3 minutes, he puked.
so after rolling 3 minutes, he had to puke. So. So he is a
was on
Kyle
Saturday.
Perkins prodigy right there. He is ready to rock and roll. He will be a high-level leg locker. Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't get tired at all. He did great.
Yeah, he did really
He
good.
someone tap.
Yep.
Yeah.
Via exhaustion. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was his only submission was an exhaustion,
His submission win was via exhaustion.
which is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is awesome.
And then so the other person in
And
his
then
bracket, Josh, who's trains as well. Josh had 8 matches during the day. Josh had 8 submission wins. I think he might have had more matches than that. I know he had 8 submission wins. I know he didn't lose. So Josh got 2 gold medals and looked really, really good. And probably the toughest match of the day was his
Very first.
Yeah, what was his first match against this just physical specimen. I mean, if you think about the Thing from Fantastic Four in human form, they just peeled all the rocks off of him, and then it was a person. Yeah, I mean, it was super impressive. This guy, and even close. Yes. I mean, even towards the end of the match, Josh had a big double on him and got reversed, and it's like, you know, you're watching it going like, I don't know how he's going to sweep this gentleman, but Josh sweeped him, got on top. And then by the end, that guy was just gas. So every other match after that, what's up? Oh yeah, it's beautiful. That's what I'm saying. He hit a beautiful scissor sweep on him and right to the mount. And then every other match after that, that guy would go out there for about 10, 15 seconds and then go, I'm done. You have to tap.
Yeah.
So Josh helped Phil win his match. So it was a nice little
Great team effort.
yeah, great team
teamwork.
effort to take the guy out. So sometimes it takes 2 people to beat the supervillain. You know.
And then we had Pete.
Pete.
Yes,
Oh,
Pete.
man.
Oh man.
Pete.
The Greek warrior.
Pete.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. So I mean, it's hard to remember all the good moments because Pete Nogi, he's doing really good in the match, and then he just decided to heel hook the hell out of someone. He took the heel hook of death on somebody.
He took that home with him.
He grabs the heel.
Holy
We
shit.
all yelled no,
It was
like
amazing.
everyone.
And he just
Yells
hammers
no.
it through, and then
And he's
as he's
like,
getting
yeah.
disqualified, he just gets up smiling.
Yeah, I think he stuck his tongue out too.
He
Like,
gets a little.
Super proud of himself.
and then I'm like, why did you do that? We all said no. And he goes, I thought you guys were cheering me on. I'm like, no.
And I do have to say, Pete, beautiful heel hook. It was,
Oh, yeah.
it was a
It was-
beautiful
it was
technique. Yeah.
beautiful.
Controlled the knee line and the roll through. So very impressive. Out there competing with his kids, you know, so
Yeah.
very happy for Pete.
They only had the rules posted everywhere.
They only had the rules everywhere. Very true. No, what happened there?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
him and Simon.
Oh.
Simon got that guy in a triangle in the last 30 seconds.
Okay.
In that triangle for 30 seconds.
Yes, I remember that.
Put that guy almost out.
Yep.
You know, it was like last moment. And then Simon beat Pete.
Yep.
So technically, both of them beat the guy who first.
Jeez.
Yeah, if they just had 10 more seconds,
A little
and
bit
if
more
you didn't get
control.
disqualified.
Yeah. Yeah, I do remember that triangle. Yeah, because Simon was doing it, and it was one of those classics where I had to be like, Simon,
No.
look at me, do this with your legs. Oh, cool. And the triangle got really tight. Like,
And then you gotta say that Simon beat Pete, which is a big deal.
yeah, and then,
Yeah,
and
Simon-
then
That's a huge deal.
Yeah.
Simon for Greece, he beat Pete. So
For Greece.
yeah,
Greece.
Pete, you're gonna have to get him back one day, my friend. That's gonna be a hard one to get back. Simon's.
That's the battle of the Greeks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Simon's a tough man.
And yeah, Pete brought Simon in. Pete got Simon training. Yeah.
Was the greatest thing Pete's ever done.
Yeah. Joey saying
That's your greatest
thing
accomplishment there, Pete.
Pete's ever done is bringing Simon into us.
Simon's a killer.
Yeah, he's an athlete. He's a really good athlete.
And then we had Ronnie.
Ronnie boy, awesome. So I think Ronnie had probably the most, the biggest odyssey of a
Kenny.
story.
Yeah, Joey's saying talk about Kenny first.
All right, so we'll save Ronnie for the last. All right, so
Okay.
we'll talk about Kenny boy. I actually completely missed Kenny's matches. I didn't see any Kenny's
so did I.
matches.
I
Kenny
was so
won by
upset.
submission.
So I'm
Okay,
really excited to watch Kenny.
so Kenny had
Just submitting him.
one match against the same guy, and he had 2 best of 3s, and he beat him both times in 2 matches. So did he submit him every time, Joe? Awesome.
Wasn't
Kenny
close.
submitted him every time. Yeah, so
That's
Kenny's getting to the point we're gonna have to move him up pretty soon. He's mauling people, you know. And it's that's a crazy thing to think of how his first tournament, you know, Kenny went out there and he lost every single match, but you know, he'd never done jiu-jitsu before. He just went out there with Italian pride and tried to win some matches, and he came pretty close. You know, and now that he knows some jiu-jitsu, he's really giving people the business. So very, very impressive performance, Kenny.
Kenny, and then we also had Nick.
Oh, Nick.
Yeah, big Nick.
Yeah, big Nick. So I think it was Nick's second or third tournament getting out there.
He won by submission.
Yep, I saw Nick have a good submission win, and then I think, I mean, he had some good matches getting out there. You know, Nick's a big guy, and I think it's a hard thing when you're a bigger guy and you're in the gym. The stuff that works for you, you go to a tournament, it's like, oh, now there's someone my size. This can be a little bit hard to match up with.
Yeah.
You know, it does have a nice benefit of him and Matt being able to train
Yeah, I was
together a
gonna
lot.
say
They get to
that.
feel, you know, someone kind of their size and strength together. So very impressed with Nick as well.
Christian, it was his first tournament.
Yes.
And Christian doesn't have a lot of experience, right?
No, it's
No.
fairly new.
But I will say he has been coming to the advanced classes.
Yep.
He has been training hard. Mm-hmm. I didn't get to see any of his matches.
Yeah, only caught.
I think he almost triangled
with
someone. People were telling me. Yeah, I think
He won by submission on one of them.
Yeah, I think he might have
nice.
triangled somebody, to be honest. So
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I think he was just having a lot of fun. I saw every time I saw him,
yeah.
big
He
smile on his
smiled. Yeah, he
face,
was smiling.
happy to be part of the team. So
It was great to have him out there.
really cool. Proud of you, Christian.
Then we also had Ross.
Ross the boss, Rossifer.
Ross, he's
Yep, Ross
Yeah.
was back.
Ross.
So Ross broke his toe.
Yep.
Epic fight out there, toe smashing, putting his foot up people's ass. Sometimes your foot breaks, you know, that'll happen.
His toe was literally going the other way.
Yeah, it was bad.
It's
Yeah.
fine.
So he's got a boot on, but he's still training. And it's cool to see Ross out there. You know, Ross has had a nice little journey with jiu-jitsu. And he's very happy to be part of the team. His family was there, his kids were there watching him, his wife was there. So I think a cool experience for him as well.
Yeah, his girls are so cute. Then we also had we had
Sergio.
Jay.
Jay, awesome.
Jay,
Jay,
can
how'd
you
you
do
do? Tell us about your matches.
well,
How are your matches?
really well. I
Went against
unfortunately
Ronnie.
I had to go against Ronnie.
Ronnie boy.
So I didn't do the gi. I know. You can make fun of me all you want. Yeah. So I
kidding.
only did the no gi. So as there was 5 or 4 guys I think competing in the gi, and I was gonna match up. My first matchup was with somebody else, and then I think that guy ended up getting hurt. He dropped out. Well, 2 guys I think ended up dropping out for the gi.
Okay.
And unfortunately, it was going to be that if I would have won out and Ronnie would have won out, we would have met in the finals.
Nice.
But then since those 2 guys dropped out, they put me and Ronnie up
First.
I'm like,
Nice.
are you fucking kidding me? I'm like, that's... And in all honesty, like I wasn't that nervous going in there. I'm like, okay, you know, it's just another tournament. But the second that I saw that it was Ronnie and I
Yeah.
first, the nerves
Yeah.
just waved. And I'm like,
Really?
yeah. I don't know why. It's like, I know Ronnie and I have a little bit of history for the Chicago
Yeah.
ADCC.
Oh, yeah, the ADCC.
Yeah. So
And the
I
white
know-
belt bash.
Yeah, the white belt
He's been
bash.
beating
yeah.
on Ronnie for years now.
Oh yeah, is he your rival?
I probably, but he is no easy match.
No.
After that first match, my forearms were on fire. Like my grip strength was just gone. I'm like, damn it, Ronnie. I'm like, we're supposed to go smooth. We got another guy.
We got
that
more
need
people to go with.
We need to go against this guy and save it for him. But so Ronnie did really well. I ended up getting a rear naked choke towards the end of the match, and then my second match was with that Christian guy. I think his name was Christian. I can't remember. He won first place in the gi.
Okay.
So very tough, mentally and physically tough. But like I had a good rear naked choke on him. I didn't get it underneath his neck, but I was cranking his neck pretty hard.
Yep.
And he just would not tap. And then because my forearms were gassed, I tried to switch to an arm triangle, and I ran out of time. So I was a little upset that I didn't get the submission, but hats off to that guy. He was really tough.
Good challenge. It's nice to be challenged, you know.
You won by points still?
Yes. Yeah. And I ended up taking gold on that one. It was just those
Good.
2 matches.
Nice job.
Thank you.
So we talked about Christian. Christian and Sergio were also in the same division. All I saw from Sergio was just putting the gi pants on, taking the gi pants on.
Yeah, Sergio was doing a bunch of different divisions. He was out there, a lot of different matches. I think, if I'm correct, he ended up getting a gold, silver, and a bronze.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a nice little run for him. Very cool. I think it was his first time competing in the gi as well. So that was cool. Good for
First and last.
Yeah, so Joey was making him compete in the gi before he, takes his next test for his belt. Yeah, it's a very important thing to you got to experience it. It's part of the game. For as much as we'll sometimes joke about it, the gis are definitely part of jiu-jitsu. We got to use them.
Mm-hmm.
And then Zach.
Yeah.
Zach was there.
Yep.
Zach Swaggart, awesome.
How did
Zach did
matches
really
go?
good. He had some really good wins, and then just a weird kind of like his leg got caught up in a weird position. He ended up kind of popping his MCL. But I think he'll be back pretty quickly. That's one can be pretty painful and can hinder you for a little bit, but it'll heal pretty quick for him. So he'll be back in action. Very impressed to see him out there.
Yeah.
Good. And then Thad. Talked a little bit about Thad. Him and Nam.
Thad competed against Nam. I think it was cool for Thad to get out there. Thad's a little bit older too, so I think he,
he's in his
first ever
40s.
competing. Nice, that's awesome. And I was actually surprised to hear that this is his first time competing. He seems like someone who would be really into that. So it was a cool thing to see him get out there. Yeah, I would never guess. Yeah,
No.
I think he's in his 40s, right?
Yep.
He's the most. Joey said he's the most handsome man he ever met. Most suave looking.
Beautiful hair.
Yep.
Yeah, he does.
He's always
Dresses
looking good.
very well.
Very sharp.
We should take some notes from him, Joe. Yeah.
And then Brad. Brad was also there.
Brad did amazing. Yes, so Brad has been training with us for a while, just super tough. Brad's always
very
been
tough.
Yeah, he's
very
very
tough.
Very tough.
And he really showed a lot of his wrestling out there. His wrestling and his guard passing looked really, really good. I don't think he spent any time in the bottom. He was looking really impressive.
That's awesome.
Very imposing on top.
And then
Yeah, he's got a little bit of little superpowers.
I competed as well.
Miss Meredith, yes.
I lost my first one. I lost my first match.
What?
Silly mistake. Sad. Yeah. Lost my first match due to an arm bar. Silly mistake. I was basically out of it, and then I gave it back to her.
Kind of spun back into it.
Yeah, just decided to give it back to her.
Classic stuff.
Yeah.
Let me try that again.
And
Let's see if I can escape
then
it twice.
and then the second match was good. I just ended up submitting her with the rear naked choke.
How'd you get her back?
I don't even know. It was like,
Do you remember?
you remember? Her oh yeah, I remember now. Because my foot was trapped. And then I took the back, and you're like, why would you do that? Yeah.
Okay, so
It would not normally work though.
Tayla went risky business. She's not going to do that this weekend.
No,
She's going
absolutely
to stick to the game plan. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you end up getting a silver.
Yes.
Congratulations. Very cool.
Thank
Very
you.
cool. Yeah. I think a little bit, we gotta keep in mind, you compete once or twice as a white belt, and then right away put in the blue belt, doing ADCC opens, bigger tournaments. So it's you're moving fast and you're doing good, but it's still we're still gonna run into people, so we gotta keep training.
Yeah,
And it's good though. It's good to get submitted. It's good to get submitted because then you learn.
It keeps you honest.
Yeah.
Right? It's very important. Yeah, it's not it's not what you want. It's nice to get caught in the armbar you way that did escape win the match and then go like, all right, don't let that happen, you
Yeah.
know. But sometimes it's better to
Shit happens.
yeah, if you get caught, you learn from it,
Yeah.
Shit does happen. Look what
And
happened.
then Greg Buck was there. And
Greg Buck,
He's
very
also
impressive.
competing.
Greg Buck,
is.
yeah, he
This
did very
weekend.
good, and he's competing again this weekend. So you guys are doing Midwest Finishers, and then him and Justin Peter doing the Maximus show. So that'll be very cool. I think both of them will do very, very well.
Yeah, Greg won against Miguel.
Greg went against Miguel.
That's right.
He won the absolute
Won the
division.
absolute.
Greg also went against the
nice
guy that
win.
we said was went against Jesse. That was really, really good. Hit him in the armbar. That kid's just got really talented leg locks, and Greg actually ended up footlocking that kid. So it was really, really impressive. Super impressive, Greg's performance.
Yeah, Greg. I think he had one loss with just because of a disqualification. He reaped.
Yes, he
right?
reaped. So we had like a best of 3 with that person, though.
Yeah,
Because I think
yeah.
that wasn't the absolute, right?
That
Yeah,
was-
yeah. So you,
But everything else he won.
yeah, classic reap. Yeah.
And then Ronnie's last match. Should we talk about that?
Let's talk about so
And talk
Ronnie.
about
Okay, so
Joey's.
Ronnie's day.
Mm-hmm.
So the first match of the day for Ronnie, he just gave the match away. If we're just honest on it, like he was doing good on top, and then he dropped back for a foot lock, and me and Joey, Ronnie, what are you doing? So tried to coach him through it, not really listening too much, and just that can happen for people where like you get a little overwhelmed with the moment. You're not kind of, but it's on you to pay attention to your coaches listening to get some coaching improvements. So we kind of a little hard on Ronnie afterwards, but then we kind of like built him up. We pumped him up for his last match, and then he went out there and did really good. And he scrapped out like kind of the final match for the day for the team. And
Well, he did the gi.
yeah, okay.
Right? Yeah, that was he had like 3 matches in the
Yep,
gi.
yeah,
I
3 matches in
believe.
the game. I don't. Did he win any of those?
Nope.
Yeah, so I don't think he won any
But
of those.
The second one, he was like he was doing really well.
doing really well.
He just lost on points. And it was towards the end.
Yeah, and then his last match was like a really close one, but he had the whole team behind him cheering for him. We all went crazy when he won. So really
that was
impressive
intense.
performance by Ronnie. Yeah,
And that was his first win.
Yep. So that was his first win?
and- yeah.
Awesome.
So we're all watching Ronnie, and it's towards the end of the day.
Yep.
It was like one of the last matches, and I think Tayla, you were the actual coach in the chair,
I was in the chair.
and then you had like a bunch of us
whole
behind
army.
you just cheering on, and then on the other side of the mat where the spectators are supposed to be, you just see the army of RMMA there.
That's
Joey's
awesome.
on that side. So he's getting coaching from both sides, and one of the head refs was getting kind of upset because this is the IBJJF,
a little
right?
local, yeah.
So he's like, we're used to ADCC. We're getting into it. We're on the mat. We're going crazy. So for Ronnie's first win, he almost gets disqualified
For us.
because of us.
Yeah.
So
And let me tell you one thing: we would not have cared. we would have cheered like you won for years. Yeah,
Yeah, that
So
was an exciting.
Yeah, it was a special moment.
They were
Yeah.
so happy he won.
That's awesome. And do you have anything
then-
else on the list?
So that's all the adults, and then Joey's match.
Then
with
Joey's
the
match.
ref.
Yeah, so I could think. So like the kind of climax for the day was. It happens all the time. Me and Joey sign up for tournaments to compete together, and we almost, unless it's like big tournaments like the trials and stuff, we almost never get to compete in the same thing together because someone always just ditches competing against us. But it's pretty cool. So one of the refs was hearing that Joey didn't have a match, and shout out to that kid. He's I'll do a match with you, and he decided to hop out there at the end of the tournament. So it was a pretty cool, like, kind of setting. It was the whole tournament kind of shut down, and everyone became spectators for Joey to go out there and do a match. Yeah, Joey got to take his shirt off, which is usually illegal at that tournament, but the tournament really wasn't going. So both guys took their shirts off, and Joey mauled the young man. He armbarred him, broke his arm out of bounds. They reset the match. Broke his leg. He had to wear Sergio shorts. It was a really impressive day for Joey. Yeah, so
Nice and
really happy for
Very
him.
Sergio
entertaining to
shorts.
watch.
Yeah, that was really, really cool. So
And then you competed. You
I
also
did.
had
Yeah, I
some
competed.
matches.
Yeah, so we didn't know if I was going to be able to compete. So the guy that I went against, he did a gi division. That was actually the first match of the day. And I remember me and Taylor were watching the match, and I said to our guy, he's going to get tired and he's not going to want to do our match later. And like right after I said that, he started walking back and bounced. They went out of bounds. I go, is he bleeding? And then he turned to look at us, and his whole forehead was like covered in blood. And I was just like, oh gosh, like he's not going to compete. And then 3-4 hours later, I saw him putting on his rash guard. I was like, oh cool, So I went out and did 2 matches. Really nice guy. Nothing too impressive to write home about. I think I got a rear naked choke and an arm triangle, so it was 2 good matches for a best of 3. So
He competed with the tape
Yeah,
around
it
his
is.
head.
He had his head
wrapped
completely
around.
wrapped and
At one
taped up,
point.
and I think he was walking around all day with his head taped up.
Yeah.
And then we went to start our match, and he pulled guard and went to deep half on me, and right away the head wrap came off his head. So then we had to stop. They had to wrap his head up again. Yeah, but yeah, so fun event. It was really cool to have a whole team competing together, and then overall as a team, first as adults.
Yes.
So we had a big,
got a nice
big
little-
trophy. And then also we got second overall as like a team. So they do adults, and then they also do a division for kids as well. And we didn't get first for the kids, but if you added adults and kids together, we ended up getting a second place. So those are the trophies right there. There's the first place. There's the second place. You guys just saw Joey getting his haircut by 40. So Jay will
Shout
give
out
you a little
40.
bit of a close up over there. Joey's getting lined up. You got to give him the fade. You got to clean up the beard. You know, the man's looking good. So that's the face you'll see as the new Midwest Finishers champion.
Woo!
Look at him.
Well, that's not the face yet. He's got to clean it up.
Oh, he's got to clean it up a little bit. We're almost done
not
cleaning him up. So awesome. So yeah, really good. So that was that's really cool. So that's been like a
That was
common
Fuji,
thing is
yeah.
like every few months. I'm probably gonna instead of it being a few months, shut it down to every month, maybe something like that. Finding a specific competition that we want to bring a full team to. It's kind of a thing. We have the whole crew of people that is like the travel team, but then we also want to have like a local competitions for people to be able to hop in as well, so they can feel there's something for them to do too. So
Yeah, it is nice having everyone,
Oh, it was a lot of
everyone
fun.
there, all the people, and like just you feel that whole team community.
yeah, it's motivating, and
Yeah.
yeah. But if you don't feel by yourself at all. You're gonna get a coach or something, or
Oh, yeah.
even if it's not like a coach, just some moral support in
Just
the corner.
somebody.
To make you feel good about
Someone's
yourself.
gonna sit in that chair.
Someone's gonna yell.
Somebody will be
Yeah.
in that chair rooting on you.
Get them. Yeah, squeeze their neck.
Or my famous breathe.
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 Yeah.
I don't know. You're doing good. Breathe.
Hey, that's a.
You always do say that.
You'd be surprised how helpful that is.
Yeah,
It is. It
People
really
forget
is.
all the time. So
And I will say, I'll always hear you in the back, and you'll just be like, "You're okay. You're okay." And I'm like, "All right."
I guess I am
Jay
okay.
says I'm okay. I'm
Jay
good.
says I'm okay.
Jay, I'm not okay.
I don't know, Jay.
I don't know. You might want to reassess the situation.
Yeah, I have one kid, this little kid Bruce that I coach. That like if I do something like that to him while he's rolling, I'll be like, I'll tell the other kid that's going to like, man, Bruce is about to get you, and he'll look at me like, no, I'm not. He's got no confidence about himself. Yeah, but man.
So that was Fuji.
That was Fuji. And then the week before that, we went out to the ADCC trials / the ADCC Open. That was the day before. And we brought a nice group
Oh,
for
yeah.
that. So, impressive
That was
again.
in Vegas.
Yeah, that was in Vegas. So, something we talked about at the beginning of the year is like a team goal was to get to the top 10 for the ADCC Opens in another state, right? So it was, when we competed in Chicago, I think we got third.
Third, I think.
And that was very satisfying for us, but a little bit expected because we were able to bring a big crew because we
Yeah.
were local.
And the kids.
Yeah, and the kids and all that type of
Yeah.
stuff. That was really helpful for us being able to do that. But then going to, I believe the first time was Long Beach, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so
Yes.
going to Long
Yes.
Beach, we had this goal of getting into the top 10. I think we ended up getting 8th. And that was like a goal that we had over the entire year. So, we had to immediately, ramp up our goal to make it a little more difficult.
Yep.
And between you, Sergio, Orlando, Ian, who else?
Oh wait, Adrian.
Adrian, yes. But Adrian was the big one. So I believe between you 5, we ended up getting 5th overall as a team.
Yes.
At the Open. So we're moving our way up the ranks, and we're coming for you. We're gonna get that.
clap one.
We're gonna get that first, babe. We're gonna get that first. Yeah. Calm down, everybody out there. It's
Take it
okay.
easy.
It's okay.
Take it easy.
Yeah. So very impressive.
more
So
to
let's
come.
talk about some of those matches. So let's think about how the day went. So Ian was one of the first people to get out there.
Story of
Ian had just a rough go at it. He had a rough day. So Ian, it's day before weigh-ins for the tournament, and Ian's flight got canceled or whatever. I mean,
Oh no.
Yeah.
Ian
It was
chose to fly
horrible.
Spirit, so we have to put a little bit on him. So Ian got there and they told him like, this plane's got 200 seats and we sold 300, so go home. So Ian had to fly out the next day. So
I
Ian
think didn't he like have to go to Florida?
I think he had to go to Florida and
Had
be
to
there for like a
stay
couple
there,
hours and
and
fly
then-
over. So all within literally 2 hours, Ian landed, took an Uber to the event, cut 3-4 pounds, weighed in, and competed all within 2 hours.
Yeah,
So a
nuts.
dog of a performance.
Yep.
And I think he ended up going 2-2. And we were really impressed with the way he scrapped it out. I mean, I could see like right in his. Yeah, he almost beat the number one guy in a decision,
Very
and I
first
could
match.
see it on him in that match. There's like it's just a thing when you have a physical expenditure like that. It can really hit you very hard. And the beginning of his first match, he like got mounted, and when they were resetting back in the middle, I could see it on his face that he was like, I'm
Yeah.
tired. But then he got his second win,
Yep.
and he came back and he really had a very scrappy performance. So that was really really epic, super impressive. Yeah. So, Jay, how'd your matches go?
Yeah, so I got bumped down again.
Yep.
So there was nobody in my age bracket. So I went down into the adult bracket with the 19-year-olds and 20-year-old
Yep.
phenom wrestler kids.
Yep.
But I lost my first match. The kid was he was fast.
Yeah.
He was a really good wrestler. He had a really good throw by. Ended up getting my back pretty quickly. Fought out of that. Had a good leg exchange with him. I just couldn't finish. And
Yep.
I was like hearing you guys like, hey, put your knee here, do that. And like by the time I was making those adjustments, I was losing his foot and I just couldn't get the finish. So
Okay.
that was something that I came home with, like wanting to play around with
Improve a
a little
little
bit more. Is just control in those leg entanglement positions and then working my way on top. But ended up losing that first one. And then I just mentally was just like, oh shit, here we go again.
Okay.
Like from California, lost my first 2 matches.
Yep.
Same thing. I got put down to the adult division.
It's
I'm
all
like-
going to go downhill.
I'm like, here we go.
Yep.
Like, all this training, all this work, and you came up to me right afterwards and like, it's all right, don't worry about it. And,
Yep.
and like just your calmness and just like, all right, here, we got our next one, let's go.
Yep.
I'm like, all right, yeah, just snap out of it.
Yep.
And I ended up winning my next 3 matches, I think
Yep.
it was.
Went all the way back to bronze.
Got-
Yeah, super
yep.
impressive. I remember
All the way back to
the
bronze.
guy that you went against in the finals. You saw him coming off the mat one time. And you're like, how is that guy in my division? He's this giant, muscular guy.
God,
and I think
Oh,
I even
no.
said, I think I even said to you, I was like, I don't think he is. And
Yeah.
you're like, no, he definitely is. And then that was the guy you had to go against in the finals. So this is one of my favorite things. So Jay went to walk out to the match, and I said to you jokingly, because this is just my personality, I go, now just remember you're stronger than him. And you like didn't take it as a joke. You like very seriously went like, yeah, and just like, and I was like, all right, he's gonna give him the business. Yeah, and you took that guy out, man. That was awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I think also like just a really good wrestler.
Yeah,
and
he
when
was,
when
yes.
you just by good hand fighting and stuff, when you took that away from him, he didn't know what else to do.
Right.
And then you ended up getting on top of him and just you really dominated the match. So very impressive performance by you.
Yeah, that was. I won that one by points. My
Yep.
other 2, I got submissions.
Awesome,
But yeah,
awesome.
He was another tough kid. We're just mentally and physically strong.
So you got a bronze.
Got a bronze.
Awesome, cool. So just so you know, with us saying that we got 5th, the medals are really what counts for points for us getting. So so you got a bronze. Sergio went out there. Sergio ended up getting silver, I believe.
Yes.
So Sergio got a silver. Really good performance by Sergio. He has been, definitely one of the most improved, people at the gym over the years. His wrestling's improving. His jiu-jitsu is improving a lot. So really impressive performance by Sergio. Really happy to see him out there. Joe, you remember how many matches he had? I want to say he had 3, right? And he he had a bye, and then he lost 1, right? I believe that's how it went. Yeah, so very impressive.
Yeah, 1 lost.
Yeah.
He lost his last one. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. You got
That's how
to
you
get
get
the silver. You got to lose the last one. Yeah. So very impressive performance by Sergio. I'm delaying a little bit. Joey's almost done with his haircut. I want to let Joey talk about Adrian. I want to let him talk about his king. Yeah, Adrian, an amazing performance. So that was the trials.
Saturday.
Let's Orlando also
yep.
too.
Orlando.
So Orlando came out. Orlando's had a really just just got an unlucky draw for with the weight class and like the skill group that he's in is he always ends up going really late in the day. So he's hanging out all day, waiting to do his. And I remember just like like seeing before the match, he was like probably like an hour before his match, he's just trying to wake himself up. So he's like drinking a Mountain Dew, trying to get himself going. It's like taking him a while. And they just kind of called his match right out there. So he got like blitzed a little bit in his first match and just ended up not being able to recover enough to win the match. He almost had him. It was really
so.
close. Yeah,
he had a good Kimura on him.
Yeah,
and that guy just would not fucking.
Orlando's just got a good. He's going to be extremely hard to submit, and you are going to have to go the whole match on your P's and Q's to not get submit by him. There could be any sort of time left, and he's going to be able to catch you with one of his moves. So very impressive performance. He ended up losing that first match, but winning his second match, so he ended up getting silver. We were hoping to get a rematch with the other guy, which can happen sometimes in round robins, but it just didn't happen that way, so he ended up getting a silver medal. That was really awesome as well. So really good performance by him. And then the last performance of the day, and it was in the middle of the day, was Adrian. I'll let Joey give you guys a whole breakdown of that because that was super impressive. So that was the whole ADCC Open, and that's the day before the trials. So we did the whole Open. We went out, we had some dinner, we hung out and stuff, and the next day, me, Joey, Giuseppe, and Mario all competed at the ADCC trials. So that's a 2-day event. And really, really fun thing for us. It's kind of like the pinnacle of what we're going to do for competing. So not the best showing for me and Joey. We felt like, we've definitely felt that we've improved in the past 2 years. We can see how much better we're getting. But it's a tough tournament. The scoring is a very hard thing there. So, we both felt like, scoring scenarios could have went a little bit different our way. But, if you're losing by little scenarios by that like that, you could have won by a little scenario by that. So you just gotta take what you can do, and you gotta get better where you don't leave it up to little situations like that in your matches. So it was really fun performances by us, but just weren't able to come away with the win. So 2 years from now we'll get back after it.
Excited. I always love watching you guys compete too.
Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, and that's something that I appreciate in is just the amount of support from everybody. We can tell how much you guys love being part of the team. So that's very fun. And then so let's let Joey give a good breakdown. Show him how you look.
The legend.
He's looking clean, baby.
You should be in the shot here.
Smiling. Look at that. Clean haircut, clean beard, both sides.
Maybe we.
Awesome. Well, no, Joey can take my side. I'm going to sub out. Joey's going to take my spot. He's going to tell you how Adrian did, how the king did.
All right. How's it been going? Good. Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi, I'm shirtless.
We're here with
Fresh
Joey,
cut.
the real deal.
I just got a haircut. Nice to meet you guys. Hi. What's your name?
Taylor?
All right, so what did I miss?
Missed a lot.
Yeah.
I heard you talking about the kids. You talked about the tournament. Did you get the photo? Did it look
Yes. Yeah. Got that.
That's pretty
Zoomed
cool.
in
The
on
plaque?
that.
good? Yeah, the plaques look good.
Plaques look
Yeah.
really nice.
Shout out
Thank you, Frank. Yeah.
Frank, yeah,
And
Frank.
he had to
Tank,
he had to
hanging
switch
him
it
up.
up too. He messed up the first
Yeah,
time
so
he hung
Frank,
him
if
up.
Frank's listening, he put the signs in backwards, and the only reason why we knew that is because Dakota complained.
Yep.
Your
Dakota
sister.
pointed it out.
She was very
course she
upset because the plaque it went flat to the wall, and then like little nipples were hanging out. And then Dakota sent me a photo from her work of like plaques how they're supposed to be, which is like they're off the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That
she
was
sent
a
me the photo of
disgracer.
this, like, why doesn't it look like this? And I was like, I don't know. I didn't put them up. And then
course she
she
did.
complained to someone and made it happen. Thank you, Frankie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Frankie.
Thank you, Frank.
Thank you,
Thank
Frank.
you.
It looks really good now. You think it was better? Kyle thought it looked better.
Anything Dakota says, just the opposite.
Yeah.
We were thinking of hanging medals off of it. We're like, oh, it'd be a really cool
I thought
spot
it was
to hang
fine. Yeah.
medals.
Frank is he's definitely our fix it man. So
Yeah.
if anything needs to be changed, we'll talk to Frank, not me or Jay.
Make sure it's approved by
So,
Dakota.
so
Yes.
where were we? We
That was
had
the contractor.
Adrian. Is that the last one?
That was the last one
Yeah.
we were talking about for.
So Adrian's matches. Did you talk
Vegas.
about them at all?
Nope.
No.
Not at all.
So Adrian had the coolest story with his first place medal in ADCC because he, we already know he's really talented because he's won tournaments before and stuff. But he went to Long Beach and he took third and he was really upset about it. And I remember him just like being like, "Hey, like I want redemption." That's what he kept saying. He's kind of like he's like got like little stories in his head. He's like, this is the storyline. I can't wait till I post a video of like redemption. He like has these little things in his head. What's that?
Oh, that post was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I'll
God.
get
It
there.
took him
It was
all day.
amazing. Yeah. So Adrian was upset about the third place match because he definitely could have won in Long Beach. He could have took first. You know, he just made a mistake and lost, and then took third. And then for this tournament, he just smoked through everyone pretty aggressively. So aggressively that in one match he picked someone up so hard and tried to slam him that he broke his own foot. But we didn't know that at the time. I thought he was just, jammed his toe or something. You know, he was a little dramatic about it.
Such an Adrian thing to do.
It's a very Adrian thing to do. Tayla, by the way, has a nice rivalry with Adrian. I don't know if
Adrian
you guys-
started it. He called
Oh
me
yeah.
out.
Good,
Yeah. Remember the podcast?
Yeah.
For anyone who knows Adrian, go back and listen to the podcast. And he talks a lot of smack about Tayla. He's like, Tayla didn't like me. Tayla's this. Tayla's that.
Making up
What do you think?
rumors.
I think we need you to clarify some things about how you feel.
I think his foot broke for a reason.
You broke his foot.
I broke his foot through this
With her
grappling.
mind.
So he was right. It was a couple of weeks before when he fractured his foot.
So Adrian's got a lot of storylines. But before we talk about his match, do you have anything you want to say to Adrian if he's listening? What would you say? Because since there's such a good rivalry between Tayla and Adrian, it's like a classic rivalry.
I don't even know.
If you had to talk some smack, I need you to lay it on him because I want
Talk
him to
smack?
get into it.
All I can say, Adrian, is you're not here anymore, and I don't think that boot's actually real.
You've been faking an injury?
Yeah.
Who's on the
It keeps
leaderboard
switching
for
on the
competitions?
feet.
Yeah, it sounds like she's claiming a fake injury, but
It'll be on the right foot, then it'll be on the left foot. He's
Which
hopping on
shout
wrong
out to
leg.
Adrian in the fact that he's been injured and we talked online about it and he's been coming to classes with his notebook and studying while he's wearing his little boot and shadow boxing in the side. He comes here at like 5 o'clock. He's like, I'm bored, and he's just while I'm teaching kids, he's just sitting over here and like looking in the mirror, flexing. And his upper body has gotten huge, by the way. Have you guys noticed? Because all he's doing is
That's all he's
upper
doing,
body.
upper
He's like
body.
every day at the gym, I just been working on my upper body.
Oh my God.
So Adrian, he smashes through people, smashes his own foot. That's how much he's smashing people. So what happens is his division is so big because he's like 170 pounds. It's like the most popular weight class that they had almost like 2 tournaments. His side of the bracket went all the way till he made it to the finals. And then there was a long break while the other half of the bracket had to compete to see who he would face in the finals. So it was almost like an hour, maybe even longer than an hour.
It was-
Kyle's saying it's like multiple hours, so maybe like 2 hours. It was long enough for the adrenaline to wear off and the foot to really start hurting. And Adrian was 100% not going to do the competition. He's like, I got to work and I don't want it to get worse and this and that. And I could see in his head that he didn't want to do it. Yeah, he was, I want to make sure that this doesn't sound wrong because I didn't force him to do it. Not at one time ever. When he said I didn't want to do it, I said, "You're in charge. You're gonna do whatever you want to do." But here's some food for thought. And I said a couple things. I said like starting with the idea that you're already hurt. The injury already happened, so you can be hurt and you can go compete, or you could be hurt and you can forfeit and take second. And one's going to feel a lot worse mentally, and the other one is going to feel, the same. Like you're going to be hurt either way. And it's also, a little bit of, and this is something I didn't express to him completely until after, but I've felt this way in certain times when it came to like injuries and pulling out, and this is for MMA too. But it's like stealing something from someone that we should all respect our opponents. And me personally, I do believe there's a little bit of like stealing someone's moment. Not that you want to be someone's highlight reel or anything like that, but even if you go out there and you're completely hurt and you go out there and you pull guard and he passes your guard and you end up losing 2-0 or whatever, giving your opponent that respect to like let them have the win versus, you flew all the way out here or this person flew all the way out here and they end up winning with a walkover. And of course, an injury is an injury and there's nothing wrong with pulling out when you're truly hurt. And so there's a lot of reasons why I believed he should have done it. And we watched some videos. We got him all motivated. I think Kyle said some things to him. He was talking about being a dog or something. I don't remember.
The main thing I told him was like, about the negative was his foot was already hurt, and so he's gonna have to pull guard and lose a point. And
Yeah, he said no one can beat him by 1 point if you pull guard. No big deal. Yeah, and it was just on fire that day. So like I knew he could win. So we watched. So like he was like, I'm not gonna do it. And then we ended up watching the guy who he's gonna face. And when Adrian saw the guy who was gonna face, like when they called the match to go out there, Adrian just like ripped off his shirt. He's like, I'm doing it. Yeah. When he watched his opponent, that's when he like made the decision. And the funniest part though is like he rips off his shirt. He's all like excited to go out there, and he's like hopping on one foot, and then like it's time to go. And he's like, I have to pee, and then so on one foot he like jumps. Like I've never seen an athlete jump so fast to all the way around the mats to go to the bathroom. And then he jumps back and he gets on the mat, and it was a great match because he's on one foot. For some reason, he wouldn't even like put his foot on the ground. So he's jumping around, and like the tactics is like obviously you want to get taken down while there's no points. And then you can stay down and play guard. So he's doing that. He's giving a single leg. He gets taken out, but then like an idiot, he gets up and gets slammed, boom, and hits the ground. And the referee's laughing at him like he's an idiot. I'm laughing at him. We're all like, why'd you do that? And almost gets his back taken. But then he slimes out and ends up going for a straight ankle lock and almost snaps this guy's foot, ironically. Yeah.
Not do the rest of this match. And you said, like, let's wake up here. Let's
yeah.
get the match.
Yeah, Adrian just needed to kind of get some. I mean, he was cold and he really didn't even want to be in there. So then to see him kind of like wake up and was like, I do want to win. And yeah, it was really cool, super special match, and I thought it was really neat. And all these matches, guys, almost all of them are on our Instagram page for anyone who's like, if you're a fan of like watching all these matches that we're talking about, you want to see them. We do these live streams now that Tayla actually started. I think you're the first person that started doing those. We do these live streams on the Team Real page. So it's not the school page. It's a page dedicated just for our competitions. And we're live streaming them, and then they get posted on there, which is cool because then we can delete it off our phone and just keep it online.
Yeah.
And it stays on there. So that match, I actually pinned that to the front of the page because it's such a fun, cool match.
Yeah, I will say watching it from home, watching Adrian's last match, we saw like the last one, but we didn't know what happened. And
like
then
why his foot is on the air.
And then his last match, we're like, why is he hopping and what is he doing? It was just so
I think
crazy.
Jay had the phone, and Jay was doing a little bit of commentary. It was like, started the video, and Jay's like, he's got a little bit of a foot injury, but he's going out there. But he's got the heart of a champion. Yeah. It was like it was like a perfect commentator.
Yeah, very impressive.
Super cool moment. Just overall, just really fun. And I love the travel trips. Like I think it's really cool. I know you've been coming to all of them. You came to the Long Beach one. Mm-hmm. So like Vegas to me was a really cool trip. Not as fun as Orlando. I think Orlando is my favorite trip because it felt like a vacation.
I agree.
This was the worst trip of my life. Without a doubt. It's so cool to say because I still had so much fun. And I can't believe that I had any fun. Anytime I've ever been sick, so this was like the sickest I've ever been in my life. Anytime I've been sick, everything is miserable. Like you're not having fun at all. You're just sitting at home. Like it's hard to have fun when you're sick. And I still had so much fun because I just love watching grappling and coaching and stuff. And this was the most sick I've been in a very long time.
You were hilarious. Every time we were in the competition room when the tournament was, you were like, I feel fine. I feel great now.
Yeah.
I
It was crazy. I've never been that sick. Like it was just mostly at night. I couldn't breathe at all. I would just go and we shared a locker. We shared a hotel room. Mm-hmm. Me, Kyle in a bed. Yep. Jay, and Sergio in a bed, and Adrian on the floor with his broken foot. We created a bed for him. He was fine. He loved it.
Little like ottoman thing.
Yeah, he loved it. He loved his little nook, and he was like all happy in there. We kept throwing pillows at him. At one point, we had a food fight. It was so much fun. I was throwing bottles at everyone while I was sick. It was awesome. But I was so sick. I felt so terrible because everyone was trying to sleep. I couldn't sleep, but I didn't sleep at all. The entire night, I was up trying not to die, and I would just go in the shower and put the shower on and just spit, and I know it's gross, but just mucus. I've never produced so much slime out of my body. Yeah, it's pretty gross. So that was like the trip. Like I went in getting sick, and like Friday I lost my voice completely, so I couldn't. I remember like I felt bad because like Orlando was like, I can't hear you. I was like, well, okay, sorry Orlando.
Yeah,
I can't say, my voice doesn't work. He's like, I can't hear you. I was like, okay, well, hopefully you can hear someone else. I can't help you.
Somebody's gonna be yelling.
Yeah, I remember being like, okay, well, listen to me now while you're.
I would
this
try
close.
to be your parrot.
Yeah.
If I was near you and I heard you, and I would just like repeat whatever you said.
I had no voice at all. Yeah, so and that was rough, but yeah, it was really cool to think, because many times when you're sick, life is like miserable. That's how much grappling and jiu-jitsu is, how much fun you can have. So even when you're like dying, I was like, yeah, like a happy little dead man. This is really great. And then we had our tournament. Me and Kyle, I think you were talking about it already, for the trials. And me and Kyle were definitely disappointed with the outcome, but yeah, I mean overall, I just really I don't like making excuses. So we're talking about me being sick. The excuses, like the match, I felt fantastic in the match. I took so much drugs. I was like on all the Dayquil, and I felt great going into the match. So there's no excuse. I got lazy after the first 3 minutes. I got a little lazy, and I didn't fully understand where I was, if I was down or up. And I remember just holding onto his leg by the end. And the kid is tough, and I didn't give him much credit going in. I didn't know who he was, but he did really well. He made it to the group of 16. He's just a good wrestler, like a tough wrestler kid. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking at the end that I'm just like holding on, like maybe I'll just win in overtime. And that's never a good way to try to win a match. It's like, just hopefully I'll survive it. So yeah, but it was great. A good time. Kyle's match was fun. I remember for Kyle, I remember like us feeling like you've made so much improvement with your game that is your game, like half guard. You're attacking different things, and you had one moment that was like, oh, right there, and then it didn't happen. And then, I mean, this before you know it, now it's 5 minutes later, and you're hanging on by a string. And yeah, I mean, it was a good match. It's just the way it goes. But we never make excuses. Excuses are for losers. I think that's the expression. And we lost, but we're not losers. It's one thing to lose, but it's another thing to be a loser.
Yep.
I'm no loser. Maybe I am. I got no shirt on. That's okay. And then Giuseppe and Mario. Mario, of course, made it to the group of what? What did he make? 16 or 8? What did Mario make?
The 8.
He made it around 8, which is he's one away from the where it got really exciting, where it started to where they moved the mats around. Yeah, I lost to Adam Bradley. Yeah, Mario did awesome. I mean, he's just like a super special athlete, like insane athlete. We didn't even talk about. Did you guys talk about squads?
Nope.
No.
Yeah. So then the weekend after that, him, Ian, Giuseppe, and Mario's brother, they ended up doing a tournament, a team tournament. You guys know about this, right? And they won the whole thing. They beat these really talented teams and ended up taking first, which was really cool. Mario's just one of the greatest athletes I've ever seen roll in person, without a doubt. And like his wrestling background is phenomenal. So it's really cool. I mean, if you listen to Mario's story, he actually just did a podcast. Did you guys listen to it at all?
I didn't get
Not
to.
yet.
No, not yet.
I would listen
just
to it.
saw
It's really good.
Idiots,
I just
So
saw it.
yeah, with the Jiu-Jitsu Idiots, he did this his podcast. I listened to it. It was really cool to hear his whole story about how he started. I mean, he was only training for like eight months or something like that, maybe even less, when he did the first ADCC trials where he took second place.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, he's just really special athlete. And Tim Springs, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to think about, just that's how much talent there is with him. And he's still getting better and better. And you can tell he's like, he is a competitor at heart. He loves competing. Mm-hmm. So it's fun to see. Yeah, I just love being around those types of people. And, obviously Giuseppe's the same way too. Giuseppe is someone who has become a really close friend of ours for the school. He's here all the time. He was here last night, just watching training and helping coach me and Tayla. He's going to be there for the Midwest finishers for us. Mm-hmm. He's going to help us, coach for those matches. And definitely the most special moment of the trials for me was the second day. So Giuseppe did awesome the first day, won his matches, good energy. But then the first match the second day, you remember?
Oh man, that was.
Did you watch that at home?
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was just that was like the most fun match I could think of. And it was just back and forth, good competitive match, good tough guy. We actually I think did we watched at this film study too, didn't
Yes.
we? Yeah.
Yep,
oh
yep,
my
yeah, that
god,
was
and
the
it
one
was
that we
still
did
just
last-
as exciting.
It really was.
It was like being there all over again. And I remember the coolest moment was actually right afterwards. I looked over because I was so into it. And again, I can't even scream. If you listen to the video, my voice was like and I'm like these little moments because I had no voice at all, but I'm still screaming as much as I could. Because it was just so exciting. But then I looked over right after the match and I looked at Adrian. Adrian looked like a little kid. He's like slapping his hands together. Oh my god! Oh my god! Like he loved it. And he I remember I think that was a moment for sure that Adrian knew he wants to do this.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
he's
Adrian.
so
Since
ready
then,
to quit.
Adrian has been like, I'm obsessed. I think I really believe in that, man. I think part of our responsibility too, as competitors, is to be inspiring, and hopefully, I want to make sure I do that. If I ever compete, I want people to see it and say, "Wow, I really love this," or "I'd like to be able to do that." Giuseppe does that all the time. Anytime he competes, people watching, they go, "Wow, I want to be like that," and I want to have moments like that. He definitely had that experience for the squads grappling too. He ended up, by the end of it, it was a super exciting finish. He ended up winning with 2 submissions back to back to kind of win the whole tournament. Oh, it was awesome. Yeah, it was super cool. So, these are something that hopefully everyone, if you're a competitor, you want to have that moment where when it's over, that everyone's looking at it and saying, wow, that was really cool. And that was one of those moments for sure at the trials. Yeah, what else? Anything else then? We go back after you're going backwards, Kyle?
Yeah, we're backwards. So Grappling Industries, Fuji, Open, and then Trials.
Is there anything else?
Squads, I think you should talk about
Yeah.
squads.
Yeah, squads was the last one.
Yeah, squads was really cool. Our good friend who was on the podcast, Matt, he hosted it. He's the promoter, and it was their first ever show, and I think they did really great. I know they had other teams that dropped out at the last moment, so it ended up just being 4 teams. It was supposed to be 8 teams.
Oh wow.
It was supposed to be 8 teams, and then it dropped down to 4, which it all worked out, and it was a great show. I know he's hosting another one, which is all women's team.
Really?
Did you know that, Tayla?
I did not.
An all women's squad. Could you put a female squad together?
I don't know who I would get.
You,
I'd probably
Dakota.
convince Dakota.
Dakota.
Who else? Could we put a squad? It could be you, Dakota. We could go with Amy.
Amy.
Who's our fourth?
Deanna.
Deanna. We
got
we
that
could.
dog in her.
She's got the dog in her, but I think she won't make the weight limit.
Yeah.
she's like 80 pounds. We could put Anna. Anna could get in there.
Oh,
Anna's
Anna.
legit brown belt, but
Anna,
man,
yeah.
Anna told me, remember on the podcast, she will never compete again. I think she did one time when she was younger.
But maybe we can convince her.
I
It's a
will,
squad.
Anna.
girls,
if you're
Anna.
gonna ever listen to this, for the girls,
for the girls.
For the ladies.
we got to throw a squad together because I think
Throw
they're
a
looking for
Beyonce
like
song
8
on for her.
teams.
Anna's probably the perfect example of what we're talking about, though, about
Hopefully you can hear Kyle. He's talking.
physicality in the match, to be rough and stuff like that. Anna will never be like this. She's too nice.
Anna's
Yeah.
a gentle soul. She was here today, but I don't know, man. I was watching her today. She came in. We did hand fighting, right? We taught snap downs, and I'm watching her snap.
She was.
Boom. She
Yeah, I was
loves
gonna
it.
say, was she?
She's got some
Yeah,
aggression in her.
she's got the-
She's got some fight in her. I don't know.
She threw me around for that brown belt. She
Hell yeah.
she can.
Anna's
definitely is.
tough as shit.
Yeah.
She's also an older woman, to be polite. She's an older woman, so it would be wild if she didn't just be like, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
It just dominated.
And dominates.
everybody.
Destroys.
That'd
But
be
something
awesome.
to think about, Taylor. If you want to, we can try. I mean, think about it though. If we combine our teams like we did for squads, it was the barracks and RMMA. I mean,
Yeah.
they're fucking tough. You guys have a great team.
There
You
we
want to do
go.
it?
Yeah, you got it.
We'll see.
I'm asking your
Do it.
commitment.
On the podcast, can we let the fans know?
Yeah. So I'm not against it. I think we try to throw one together. It'd be fun. Why not? Yeah. So outside of that, now guys, talking about what we want to do next. What?
She's gonna be
Taylor
doing
hates it?
so many competitions.
I don't hate it.
Am I for? So are you excited for this weekend? Let's talk
I-
about what's coming up.
Yeah, I'm excited for this weekend. We were talking about it a little bit earlier. I'm facing a black belt, which I'm very intimidated by.
Why?
I don't know. I don't know why. I
It's
think
intimidating to think that someone has a higher rank than you.
yeah.
Mm.
I think it's like I want them to take me seriously. That's kind of like how I think. But I feel like
You
what's
think she's gonna be like, well, that
I
might
feel
work
like
to your
she could.
advantage.
That's
That
what I
could
was thinking
help,
about. I
yeah.
was thinking about this when I was driving to work
Let her
today.
look past you. Wow.
I was like, I think she's gonna be like, oh, she's just a little blue belt. Maybe I'll toy around with her a little bit, and then I'm like, I'm gonna catch it.
I promise you, it won't be an easy match.
No.
There's no such thing as easy matches, right?
Yeah.
It's all gonna be hard. Even if you do catch something or anything, it's gonna be tough. So we're
Yeah.
prepared for it.
Yeah.
But I'm just so excited that you're doing something that's difficult. This is like, a huge jump up.
Yeah.
And for your first one, you have no pressure. So nothing to be nervous about at all because there's no expectations besides going out there and trying to learn something.
Just show up.
Just show up and
Do the
fight.
best I can.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Are you excited?
Yeah, I'm super excited. I love stuff like this. I love the tournament setting of it. I'll be honest, I'm not the biggest fan of submission only rule sets. Just not my favorite because it is, it's just a 10-minute round, and if you don't get a submission, it goes to an overtime round that's like, it's fun to watch but not fun to do in my opinion. I don't like giving someone my back for no reason. Or you know what I mean? I don't like just letting someone start in an arm bar and be like, get out of there. It's like, I don't know. It's not my favorite thing, especially as someone I'm going to be one of the smallest people there for sure. I'm not cutting any weight or anything. We're doing 145.
I know it didn't go great, but just something that actress fight maybe you want to talk about.
Who's?
Axel.
Oh yeah, Axel. We'll finish up our recap. We did right the day after the Fuji tournament for the team. The day after on Sunday, our one of our friends and students here, Axel, he ended up fighting. It was a second amateur MMA fight for Anthony Pettis' promotion. It's the APFC. And Axel, he prepared well for it. He was in great shape, had a good game plan, but we also had that same issue with some weight problems. The opponent first, we of course he is a 125er, and his opponent asked for a catch weight at 130, and again I'm already kind of against it, but it happens. As an amateur, I fought all the way up to 160 was the highest I fought, and obviously I didn't weigh 160. I was 132.
Damn.
But it's part of like the amateur scene. Not so much anymore. It shouldn't be because everyone's really good. Back then, like I just knew that guy didn't know how to do jiu-jitsu, so I was like, yeah, he's just gonna try to punch me. I'm gonna take him down and submit him, and that's exactly what happened. But it was also 15 years ago.
Yeah.
There's a lot more skill now, so like any level, even the amateur level, is so much higher now than it was when I first started. But Axel wanted to do it, so we said okay, 130, and then we get to the weigh-ins, and he misses weight by 5 pounds, so it ends up being 135er technically. So, it was like a 10-pound swing from what we would like. But Axel, again, was undeterred and wanted to do it. And I told him to, like, there's other fights, no big deal. But, I know I personally will never say no. He already did the work and you want to go do it. And I think he's got the right attitude in terms of it being an amateur fight, which is really important. These are all really good experiences for him. But at the same time, MMA is different than grappling. I don't really like playing around with MMA for your health. It's one thing. Tayla goes out and does a jiu-jitsu tournament. The worst that happens, we've already had. You've broken your arm.
Yeah, I broke my own arm.
Yeah, it really can't get much worse from what you did.
Yeah.
But that still has no long-term ramifications besides maybe a sore elbow, which, get over it. It's not that big of a deal. But when you start taking, brain damage, there's some long-term risks that I think are not worth sometimes. But Axel's very tough, and I know he loves fighting. Like he's determined, and this will certainly make him better. He was doing great. He won the first round with his takedowns, and he's a grinder. He's a really good, really tough wrestler. But then he got really. I think he realized how strong the guy was when he did take him down at the end of the first round, and had a moment that I had a long time ago in one of my pro fights where I took someone down and felt like, man, this person's too strong, so I can't take him down. I'm just going to strike with him. And I ended up losing a decision because of that mindset. And Axel did the same thing, but instead of being like, all right, now I'm going to outbox him, which, that's a skill set that Axel I don't think has yet. If he wants to develop that, he needs to keep working on his sparring and his striking in general. So he just went wild thinking I'm going to knock him out. And Axel's got some good power. He won his first fight with a knockout. But when you go crazy against a cleaner, bigger, technical striker, he got clipped. And luckily it's good referees, and there's my favorite referees there, really, really talented referees. Stopped the match as soon as he hit the ground, so he didn't take too much damage, which I'm appreciative of. But yeah, shout out to Axel. He did great, and he's got a lot of courage and fearlessness to go up 10 pounds to go fight. And also he took it really well. He was in really great spirits right from the beginning. Actually, like the moment he jumped up after getting knocked out, he was like, that was great, huh? That was a good fight. Was that exciting? Yeah, like he's got a great spirit about fighting, and we're excited to see him get back to it. I know he's been messaging me. He's going to be at the Midwest Finishers. Come watch.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's definitely all we have for our recaps, which is fun to do. I think this, these podcasts, this is like an RMMA podcast. So my hope is that people from the school want to listen to this stuff and kind of hear about it. If you were someone who competed and we're talking about you, it's because we love you, even if it's something, I know you guys probably talked about Ronnie.
Yeah.
Did you say how I was yelling at him? Yeah. I don't know what you guys said about him,
we
but
didn't say much about his gi matches.
Yeah.
Too much.
Yeah. So, like okay, you did tell him. Yeah. So, we were hard on him. Me and Kyle both were like, hey man, you got to try. Like, I know you're a lot better than that. You got to like try to listen and try to do better instead of just blacking out when you're like, you're not in a fight. You're doing a martial arts match. You have to try to like be calm and don't just freak out. And I think he took it a little hard, but it's like, again, like, I think Kenny did a great job of being a community leader and like taking Ronnie to the side and explaining like, it's because we all just love you and want you to do better, and it's going to make you do better, and it's okay to be upset, but it's not okay to kind of like quit. And of course, Ronnie, I don't think ever was going to quit, but those little moments like that are really special to me, and special, I think, as like a school, like a community to try to build people up and like use tournaments and competitions and even just jiu-jitsu in general as like a vehicle to make us better people versus just like, hey, did you win or did you lose? That doesn't really matter at the end of the day, right? Because we lose all the time, Kyle. Me and you, buddy. Me and you against the world. Remember, we lose, but we're not losers. Remember that. And don't you ever call me a loser again. Lose too. He's saying so. I don't know what he's saying over there. He's getting his hair cut. He looks like a dog on a. Hey, can you please tie a handkerchief around his neck when you're done? And he needs a bubble bath.
And get his nails trimmed too.
Yeah. Trim those nails while he's asleep. Oh yeah, we're just making fun of Kyle. It's fun. What else? Anything else then coming up? So what are we excited about? This weekend's gonna be great. Jay, what's your goals? What's coming up next?
You got it. What do we have? I know
we've been dying to get you your blue belt.
Yeah.
Are you dying for that?
I'm excited for it, but I'm not in any rush.
Cool.
So there
That's
hasn't been any like anxiety.
That was the right answer. Yeah. If you're like, I don't want to do anything else ever again. I'm not coming back till I get my blue belt.
No. That's just like a cherry on top type. It's
gonna
of
be
thing,
nice, right?
I mean, it'd be nice, but I'm in.
Are you going
rush.
to Arizona?
I want to go to Arizona. There's what is that in May, right?
Yeah, so we have the ADCC
May
schedule.
18th.
18th,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a couple things that are on the table, and I would like to ask Kyle if you can hear me too. Kyle, can you hear me? There's Naga May 11th.
That's what I was about to say. I want to try that one.
Do you want to do it?
Yeah.
I think we should try it.
So,
Where's that?
Because Orlando,
TJ really wants to do it. He's like been out.
I think is in it.
Orlando already signed up for it?
I think so. And then I think his two daughters are going to do it.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So we already have some people looking for it. I think we should do it. Yeah. Team one. It's like only 3 weeks away. That's the thing, though.
May
Oh,
11th.
shit, really?
Yeah.
It's sneaking up.
I know. It seems like next month, but next month is only 3 weeks away.
Not that far.
So May 11th, and it's going to be in Oak Lawn. I think that's what you were asking, Taylor, right?
Yeah.
That's what I want.
So Naga is like the original, right? Yeah, it's everyone's first tournament is Naga usually. At least that's maybe I'm just old. But Naga was like it's like the original tournament. And I remember as a 15-year-old kid doing Naga in Wisconsin and going out there not knowing what to expect, and just me and my mom, me and my mom alone just went out there. Were you there?
I was at like a different one, and you competed, and I remember I was like competing as a white belt in the gi, and I remember just like watching you compete and just being like, man, that guy's in the expert division. He's so cool.
Oh man, you hear that? So Kyle just admitted for the first
Fangirling.
time that he's a fan of me, and he thought I was cool.
He was
Which I am
fangirling
pretty
over
cool.
Joey.
Yeah. Fan dog.
Fan dogging.
He's fan dogging over me. Yeah, no, I do remember that too. I remember that tournament so well because. Yeah, I was trying to smash. And I ended up fighting that guy in MMA too. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. But I was so upset because he like I had him in so many good arm bars I just couldn't finish. Yeah. So it was the expert division. I was like, I mean, what year was that? I don't even know. I mean, it was forever ago. 2009, 2010. I just graduated high school, so we were like, yeah. I mean, we were just out of high school. It was a great tournament because it was me, my brother, and Tim.
Oh gosh.
nice.
Competing together. We went as a crew. We were like our own team. You know, and my brother, that was like I think it was his first tournament. Maybe he did one more before then. But my brother loves wrestling, and I would like to have my brother on the show before he moves to Florida, talk about all this stuff. But this is like an epic story. It's too much to tell right now. Oh my God. My brother's first tournament. I think it was that tournament. You know the story? Oh my God. Did he get... Yes. Yes. Oh my God. It's a good story.
Uh-oh.
It's a story that like I cannot help but like just I lose it every time I think about it. I just laugh so hard, and I'll wait for my brother to be on the show to tell the full, get up, but it's remind me of my brother's first jiu-jitsu tournament, if anyone can remember. Huh? Tim will tell it very good. My brother tells it really good. I don't know if we can say it all on the podcast, but we'll try. It involves. I can't say much.
No, keep
The mysteries there. It's really a great story. And if you know my brother, it's even funnier. But yeah, that was a great tournament. So Naga, you're gonna do it?
I would like to do that. Yeah,
Taylor?
that'd be fun.
Okay.
Taylor's just in for the ride. I love pushing Taylor to do tournaments. And the reason why is like, we were talking about this last night, me and Taylor, right after class, after training. She asked me a question. I didn't ask. She asked, did you ever imagine that I would be doing what I'm doing? When I first came in, did you think I was like going to leave right away? I was like, yeah, I never thought for a moment that you'd stick around to train jiu-jitsu like an actual competitor. I thought you liked it as like a fun little thing that you're doing with your sister, and it's like how
I didn't think I was gonna be here still.
Yeah, you didn't think so either, right? How crazy. And like people go get into hobbies like half-assed. Like you go and like, oh yeah, I did pickleball once. Yeah, it was cool. But jiu-jitsu is one of those things that's it's hard to just like kind of do.
Yeah,
You
can't
can,
just,
and you certainly can. Anyone who's like thinking about it, I'm not saying that you have to do jiu-jitsu and become like a Tayla. And Tayla's a hardcore, but like it's tough to not do it.
You just
Taylor.
get it, so like you just get addicted.
You get
almost.
hooked, right?
Yeah,
It gets hooked
you
in
want
you.
to learn
right.
more.
Yeah.
And then the more you watch, you're like, oh, I want to do that.
Yeah,
And like I could do that.
and I don't remember
Or I
when.
want to learn how to do that.
Right.
I don't remember the moment. I don't remember anything about it. But like, I mean, obviously your tournament, when you did it and you came back, that's when I knew like for sure, like, oh, she's really passionate about it. But like everyone has that moment where you're like, oh yeah, like I'm addicted. I'm into it. I love it. So I'm always like so excited to get Tayla to do more because you're like a one of a kind. You're a very rare bird.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're not your average pigeon like us pigeons. And like I want to grow. We talk about the women's program, and Tayla talks about it, and she's like her and Amy, they teach it every Saturday.
Yeah.
I would love to grow it more, and now we have Orlando's daughters who are into it, and Alex's daughter.
Yeah.
What was her name? Do you remember?
Her name was.
I'm really bad with names. I'm so sorry.
Wait, what was her name?
She was super sweet,
She was
super
so
cool,
nice.
and
she
really
was
good.
Picking it up really quick, and I was surprised because, like, I even warned her. I was like, "Yeah, jujitsu's weird," and like we were doing our hand fighting, and like we were teaching like getting head to head.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, she's gonna think this is so weird. Like, I like this is a weird first class.
Yeah.
And she was like, no, I watched the tournament. Like, that's fine. And she's like,
She's getting right up in it.
I'm like, okay, this is gonna be good.
Do you feel like you need to do that disclaimer to every girl who like starts jiu-jitsu? Like, hey, this is
I
gonna be
do.
weird,
Yeah.
but let's just do it.
Yeah, because I feel like I needed that.
Really?
Like, I feel like I needed to be like, okay, someone needs to acknowledge that this is
Yeah.
weird.
That way, like,
Right.
yeah.
You-
I mean, it's definitely weird.
I would say that was my very first class.
what was it?
Was Kimuras. We were working Kimuras, and you had to step over the head.
Oh yeah.
And you're drilling it, and you looked right at me because you knew it was my first class. And you're like, "Jiu-jitsu's weird." And I'm like, "Thank you for saying that."
Get over
I believe the words before that was "sit on their head,"
Yeah.
and then I said, "Jiu-jitsu's weird."
Jiu-jitsu's weird.
Yeah, it's just a weird
It can be
thing we're
weird.
doing, but like once you get it, you get it. Kind of like anything else that's kind of like very niche. Like I can't explain why, but I'm obsessed with handstands. And anyone who also does handstands, Jay yourself included now, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Jay loves it.
Love
I
it.
cannot tell you why,
Yeah.
but it's like once you get it and you've done it and like you've had those moments of like weird free flowing balance, it's like beautiful and amazing, and you just want to do it again. And you can't wait to handstand practice again. Like I don't know why. I cannot define why. And jiu-jitsu is kind of like that too. Like you start to like it, and like you're sweaty and you're hurt and everything's achy, and you're like, that was so fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're a very rare bird. That I think was the moral of the story.
Yeah.
So I'm always pushing you to do more,
Any ladies who are listening and watching,
which aren't
women's
many.
class, 11 a.m.
Ironically that you said that is I went through and I looked at our like analytics of the podcast.
Was there 2 girls?
Yeah, it's so it does like a circle graph of like male and female, and then non-binary is another one. We're not 99, but we're about 85, something like that, and then 15% women, and then like less than 1% but non-binary, which is interesting. I don't know. I don't know what it means.
Probably the foot guy.
Oh, the foot man, guys. Whoever you are, I'm giving you a show today. I got no shirt on. I'm getting trimmed. I got no shoes. Life is good. Taylor's choking now. Yeah. So all right. So male. Let's finish Taylor's joke. Are you okay? Was it the feet? Me and Tayla had a weird joke for a while about the podcast just being feet. And I think now is our chance. Where it was like, the joke was like, imagine like if I had a little mic on my phone, like on my foot like this. And like I was like, hey, so Jay, how you doing?
I'm doing pretty well.
It was a very dumb joke, but for some reason it worked in the moment. Now that I'm doing it out loud, it's not funny. But it was like, okay, well, there.
It was one of those.
How was your rolls?
Yeah.
Draw a
After
little smiley
class.
face. Yeah.
Sometimes
Slap
So, like,
happy.
another
Hey,
good
bye.
another good selling point of jiu-jitsu is like after a hard training session, everything's kind of funny.
Right.
Everything's hilarious.
Yeah, everything's kind of cool. Like you're sweating, you're like tired, and like no matter what anyone says, you're like, that's great. So another benefit.
You're like, you're on this high.
Yeah, that's the Keep
after
It Rolling
just getting
podcast.
Choked.
Yeah. It's the conversations after classes are hard.
Oh, and that's another thing. Did you guys talk about training? Did you kick your foot to foot? Did you guys talk about training tonight?
Yeah, we talked a little bit. Yeah.
Because speaking of like getting choked, I almost got put unconscious today for the first time ever. I've never been choked unconscious. Like, everyone, I know Kyle's been put to sleep a couple times. Just once? So Kyle got put to sleep one time here in this building. He's very hard to choke.
Yeah.
But he's also like, and I mean this in the loving way, but arrogantly confident in his ability not to get choked.
Yeah.
So sometimes he like hangs out in a choke, and if you do that too much, eventually you're going to get put. You were tapping that time, huh? Yeah. Maybe there's a story for him to tell if we ever get Adam Monaretto on the podcast. But yeah, I mean that was a scary moment. But tonight this was the first time. The only other time I think I've almost went out was actually with a little kid who jumped on my back. Little Jeannie, for anyone who remembers Jeannie back in the old days. I think she's much older now. She's probably out of high school now. You remember Jeannie? She was so cool, so tough. She loved training, loved boxing more than anything. And she trained at Doug's for a little bit, I think, too. So shout out to her. She was awesome. And she jumped on my back after class and just started choking me. And I was like, and I my eyes went vroom and I fell down. And I didn't go out, though. I was like still up. But tonight, Tayla, I think we were starting in this like kind of like a front headlock type of position, front control. And I like try to like pop up like a bunny hop up and try to flip her. And she put me in like a reverse triangle. And I was like, it was actually just like Jorge Masvidal. If you remember that, Jorge Masvidal. Do you know this?
No.
So classic fight. I'm all over the place because I just got my haircut. But classic fight is Jorge Masvidal back in like 2008 did a Bellator fight with a guy named Toby Amata. And Toby Amata put Jorge to sleep in that exact moment, that exact thing, only standing. So, like imagine that same position, but if I stood up and I just stood there, and Toby just squeezed and Jorge went out. It's a famous fight. Go look it up online. Very, very, very cool moment of someone getting put to sleep. And that almost happened to me. I had like stars, and you let go, and I just went like I gotta just start grappling really quick so she doesn't know I'm almost out.
I know, you're like, let's go.
Do you remember that? Yeah. Okay. I was like, and my eyes were all crooked. That was jiu-jitsu's fun, guys.
Yeah. But I will say it's because we spent that time clinching everything and like
I think last week we were just and then all this week we've been trying to like burn into Tayla's brain to trust her submissions more and to actually use like this like concept of like full body tension versus like isolated strength. Yeah, so like an isolated squeeze. Imagine you got your arms around someone and you're just squeezing with your arm, your bicep. I'm gonna flex on the camera. Because I got no shirt on. Look at that. I know it's not a foot.
That's for that 85% of our audience.
Crappy. Just kidding. Kind of.
Jeremiah.
Jeremiah. Oh, Jeremiah. Anytime I cram, I'm going to say, Jeremiah.
Jeremiah.
Imagine if you had a rear naked choke or something and you just flexed your bicep. That's like an isolated squeeze. And like one of the best things you can start to learn is like a full body squeeze. If you're on a rear naked choke, it's not your arm that chokes someone, it's your back, it's your glutes, it's your hips, it's everything driving through. It's even like I said to Tayla, it's like when you know you got it, I want you to bite down. And she was like, what? I was like, bite down, get your jaw involved, get your hands involved. Now you got to know you have it, and you also never want to go to like 100% squeeze because then there's no going back. And it's like driving a car and just going so fast, it's like you're out of gas now. Now what? But when you know you got something, you gotta like I've never felt you commit to it until now, and now you're like every time you like your triangles are scary. Every time she squeezes me, it's like fucking, it's a nightmare. So it's really, I think it's something to be confident in now. It's like if you get the lock, you gotta be confident.
You gotta trust it.
Trust it. Trust it.
I got trust issues with my submissions. We're working on it.
They keep hurting me. Every time I think they're back, they break my heart.
Every time I think they're locked, they just fall apart.
Trust issues with the triangle. No, I mean, I really want you to feel confident because, like, man, every time you get into a submission now, it's much scarier. Whereas, like, like Kyle, like I said with Kyle has that, like, confidence. He goes into like guillotines and stuff, and he just kind of like moves his shoulder and survives, which is a great way to train. But I had that moment with you the other week where I was on your back. I'm like, no matter what, I'm gonna finish this guy. And I locked. I've never squeezed tighter in my life, and I was so close. I almost fell off on his back. Can I tell the story about it?
No, I didn't tell.
Yeah, so Kyle, we're doing some backscape rounds, and Kyle's got this move he's all excited about, and I think he was bragging about it earlier in the week, so I remembered it. He's like, I got this move called the hula hoop. And like, did you learn that move from somewhere?
I've seen Gary tell me to do it.
Okay.
I wasn't telling you before. You were telling me back, and I stood up, and I just kept going, I'm hula hoop.
So it technically, I don't know if this is like a well-known name of it or not. But what the hula hoop is, at least this is what I've just learned, is where if someone's on your back, you stand up with them on your back and then basically hula hoop them. Here's would be the image of it to try to get them off of you. So Kyle's standing up and making me feel emasculated like I'm a little child. So he's standing up and he's trying to swing me around, and I'm halfway there, like on the side of him, and I still have
his back?
Yeah, on his back. So like a rear naked, like a back triangle. I have my two hooks in. And probably a body triangle, maybe. So he stands up and he's like, I'm going to hula hoop you. And I remember being a little insulted. Like, you treat me like I'm a little kid, like in a kids class. Like, and I'm just going to fall off and be like, hey, and jump back on. Fuck you, man. I was a little, it's just insult. I get a little insulted, but it's part of the fun. But so I was on his neck and I just squeezed. I remember just like feeling him. I'm hearing Kyle make noises that like I hear him make all the time, which are like, and I'm like, I got it. I gotta trust it. And did you tap? Yeah. I wanted him to say he tapped. He did tap. Yeah. It was fun.
40's trying to cut his hair.
Yeah. I gotta get a video of this real quick.
40's trying to cut Kyle's hair and he can't sit still.
Yeah, Kyle
constantly
just
turning.
keeps looking over at us.
There he is. Shout out 40.
40 here at 10:30 at night.
Yeah.
Came in on his own time.
He's the best.
Cleaning these guys up for their competition this weekend. Right back at us. Yeah. No, we're still talking. Yeah, we're still talking about 40.
We're talking about 40.
All we're gonna hear is what you guys are
Yeah, nothing that you guys are talking
I
about.
think you can hear Kyle yelling though.
When he's yelling, you can probably hear the echoes, but that little conversation.
Kyle,
you
we're
guys
going to be
had,
quiet
we
for
could-
one moment, and I want you to just say your favorite word. Go. Wow,
What?
fuchsia.
Out of all the words.
I'm glad he chose something.
That was very
Also,
quick.
Is that your favorite color? He says it's his favorite name of a color.
What is fuchsia? I don't know what he's talking about.
Fuchsia?
Few shows.
It's like
purple?
a pink.
Pink? God, he's weird. I love him. God, you're the best, Kyle.
I thought dogs can't see color.
Oh, a dog joke thrown out by Taylor. T-Pain with the joke. He's talking. And no one hears what he's saying now. I hope.
Magenta.
Something about a female dog. And
Something about a bitch.
I think something about bitches. He's talking about his bitches again. Yeah. All right, let's get back on track. We have the last. I wanted to make sure you guys get to sleep. It's 10:30 at night. We just had a great hard training session. Taylor and I are getting prepared for this weekend.
Yes, we are ready.
I'm so excited. I couldn't be more excited. I'm so glad that you're going to do this with me because it's a big moment.
Yeah, I'm excited.
It would be lame if just me or just you were doing it. We're doing it together.
Yeah.
It's going to be exciting. And
And
Jay,
then
you are the
Giuseppe's
man
coaching
for
us.
helping us get ready.
Yeah.
Couldn't do it without Jay.
Be a
Jay
training partner for you.
Jay is such a great partner for all of this stuff when it comes to teaching too. Because think about the couple days Taylor was busy and couldn't come.
Mm-hmm.
I needed Jay to be my uke and help me out with a lot of stuff. Hopefully you like doing
I
the
love
hand
it.
fighting.
Yeah, it's helped me tremendously. So
Yeah.
your little absence actually helped me.
Oh.
So thank you.
Yeah.
too.
You're welcome.
You were greatly missed. Don't
He
get me
tried to
wrong.
boot you.
Don't-
Yeah.
Please,
Get out of the way.
please don't leave.
You're taking my
I
spot.
need you. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been
kicked out.
it's been a fun week. I really enjoyed. We're on this brand new topic for the school, which is all about stand up work and hand fighting and gripping and all this cool stuff. To me, it's really exciting. It's like the most boring stuff.
I don't think so.
No, I think-
Technically, though, right? Like
Maybe to an outsider
in-
looking in.
in
it
the
might
comparison
seem-
of-
it might seem
The grand
boring.
scheme of things.
right,
yeah.
like everyone would from the outside perspective, like want to see the submissions or even the big takedowns if we're just talking about stand up.
Yeah.
But the first thing you need to learn is how to actually hand fight and how to set things up. So it's worth our time to invest in it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
I
help-
really liked the head to head. I really liked that. And
I call it the
even giving
angry
the
goat
angle.
move. We're going to
Yeah.
show a little visual of it. So
For
we do a
those
drill
listening,
where this
yeah.
is the drill is to stay aligned like an angry goat and then try to create an angle where I can drive him if he gets his head to my neck. Right? I hope you guys can see the video of that because if not, the
It
sound
makes
was
no sense.
yeah, I think I used that reference of an angry goat, and
Yeah, that made sense to me.
I think people understood that more than the actual move.
right.
Like the visual.
I
You can
even
picture it.
think that drill helps my stance too because now I can like start to lean in on you and start to feel
Yeah,
the
that's all
pressure
I was
back.
doing today.
So then it's like okay, I can start to activate my glutes a little bit better, feel more grounded. So it's not just for like
All about the glutes.
It's
All
like-
about those
It's all
glutes.
about the glutes, baby. Come on.
Jay brings up his glutes every conversation.
Every time.
Like, Jay, how's your day? My glutes
My
are
glutes
killing
are
me.
so big. Oh my God.
I've just been activating my glutes all day. You can tell you're a movement guy.
Not a lie. I do.
Yeah, no, the stand up module is going to be fun. We have a few more weeks of just like the beginning stuff, which is exciting. And I think there's so many jujitsu people, especially people in our classes who've never done any type of stand up works. So I think of I know you guys talked about Simon. I'm excited for Simon to start doing this and see how good he's going to get. Because if you've done some hand fighting with him, he's already
Today,
so
He
tough.
was my last round.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, last round, maybe he's a little tight. That fucker was fat.
So he's so
amazing.
tough already, and he
moving
doesn't
like,
even know what
damn.
he's doing that
Yeah.
much yet. So like, wait till he really
And
learns.
he's
It's gonna be
strong, too.
scary.
Yeah.
I think that was didn't he hurt your foot one time? Right? Taylor's
Sorry.
so tired.
Sorry. Yes.
Was it late for you? Come on.
Yeah, we got to get her off the show. You're done. I think that was like your first time rolling, or his first time rolling. He rolled with you and ended up like stubbing your toe or something. You remember?
Yeah, I don't.
We're
remember
telling this in
exactly
case
what
Simon
happened.
listens.
I think like he went for a single leg takedown and then didn't complete it fully. So like my toe stubbed the mat and like rolled.
He felt so bad. I remember
I know,
you
he's
tell
so
him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry."
He's so sweet, but I mean, it was fine. It's still attached. We're good.
It's still ready for the podcast.
Yeah.
Man, all right, let's get back on track. The last thing I want to do to close out the podcast, we said Naga. Let's go all the way back to the stories. We were talking about my brother, blah, blah, blah. Naga, May 11th, the team. Does the team want to do it? We'll put that out there in the world. I'll say on the Instagram page, does anyone want to do it? Let's see if we can bring a little team.
I like that.
People want to do it? Why not?
I think
Why
we
not?
could get. I
Right?
think we could
Little
get them
team.
out.
Naga's
Little
like
team
it's
out
like
there.
a kid-friendly tournament. The swords, kids love it. So if any kids want to do it, I know our kids team needs a
Swords.
lot of work. I really believe that, and I say that again with love because our kids are awesome, and we did get that compliment. I think you guys said it,
Talk
which
a
I'm
little
very
bit.
proud
Yeah.
of it. That everyone was like, our kids are the nicest kids, and they're doing well.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want them to feel the improvement, and I want them to start having some successes on the mat,
Yeah.
even in practice. And I think there has been some really great improvement with all of our kids,
For sure.
without a doubt. But tournaments are tough.
Yeah.
It's like, man, and I just never want a kid to get discouraged by going into a tournament and not having the success that they wanted. And it's something as a lesson. Of course, I want them to learn that you're not going to win everything, and that's fine too. But if they're going to do that Naga tournament, there's so many kids. Naga's like always. It's just
I think it will be good, like after the Fuji too, because it's so close.
yeah. Hopefully.
Yeah.
So we'll throw it out there. I think I'll put it up on the board tomorrow and see if anyone wants to sign up for it. That's May 11th. And then the next week after that, we're going to ADCC in Arizona. It's in, it's not in Phoenix. It's in the other one. What's the other popular one?
It says Phoenix.
Does it?
It says
Flagstaff?
Phoenix, Arizona.
Okay, same.
I think Flagstaff is in Phoenix.
Oh, there you
or
go.
close to it.
All right, nerd. Okay.
According to my.
Come on, calculations. I think.
And then Dallas, June 15th.
Yeah. Well, there's one more big thing right after, so that will be the 18th, and then the weekend after, on the 25th. Kyle, did you officially get invited?
Oh.
Yeah. Kyle officially got invited to another big tournament called the Zapatero. It doesn't sound weird when I say it. It sounds actually really weird when I say it out loud. Zapatero Invitational, which is a huge tournament, 160 pounds. The winner of it qualifies for the big tournament. That's $100,000.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. You know how many bones you can buy with that?
Oh man,
How many bones could you buy with that?
he's trying to.
He's getting his
40
mustache shaved right now.
40's on his
40's
beard.
like,
So
stop
Kyle's
talking.
Hey,
really,
Kyle.
He's really trying to know.
How many tennis balls?
How many tennis balls?
You remember the King Kong with the peanut butter in it? You guys remember that?
The Kongs.
Yeah, the Kongs.
Yeah, those little.
Yeah, the red Kongs.
Yep.
Kyle loves those. And now he's just chewing away. He is the Kong man.
He's the Kong man.
So you can buy a bunch of peanut butter and Kongs. Yeah, that's $100,000. It's a big deal.
That's crazy.
So I believe in him. I think he's gonna do great. I got invited to do it for the last one in I think it was like in Texas or something, but it was last week
Oh.
or something like that, 2 weeks ago or last week. Yeah. So it was like the weekend after that one tournament, and I was planning on doing it, but man, just too much stuff going on, and it was right after being sick, and I was excited to not travel.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Where's Kyle? Where is it?
this is in Illinois. It's going to be
Oh.
at the same place we're doing ours.
Oh.
So at 10th Planet Lombard. So super
Nice.
exciting. So May is going to be action packed, just like the last couple of weeks. It's nonstop, guys.
Yeah.
This is.
Something
I mean, why
every
not?
weekend.
Right? Why not? Let's. What do we? I don't
We're
want.
young.
I don't want to be bored. You know what I do when I'm bored? Nothing. So I'd rather have a bunch of cool shit going on every weekend. Every weekend this whole summer is going to
seems
be
like-
something going on.
Right.
Yeah.
Just so you guys know.
It's going to be crazy.
It's going to be crazy. I mean, it already is. It's not even summer yet. And the weather's getting nice, guys. We're living. We're in the
L-I-V-I-N.
living. Hey, isn't that tattooed on you?
Just live.
Okay.
Just live.
Taylor's got a great tattoo on her neck that says live. I mean, live.
We are
3,
live.
2, 1. Live.
Live. We are live. Oh, let's finish on that thought. Are we going to get some new tattoos anytime soon?
We need to. We need to bring somebody in here.
I mean,
to do a
Jay, you're
tattoo
tatted
party.
up.
I need to finish this guy. I'm not thrilled.
I mean, since I got no shirt on,
Um,
now's the time to talk some
I
tattoos.
got some space right here.
Shout out to my favorite tattoo shop and who used to sponsor me back in my MMA days, Electric Tattoo Parlor. Tom Begley, awesome jiu-jitsu practitioner and tattoo artist.
Is he still tatting?
Oh yeah, he owns Electric Tattoo Parlor.
Get him in here.
Is that in
It's pretty far away. It's in Carpentersville.
Oh, that's not that far.
It's not that far, but
We can get him in.
we'll talk to him.
Let's get him
He's a
in.
busy man. He came in here one time back before we changed the gym. He was back when we had the small little mat. Tom, I've known him for years, and he's a great guy, and he's a really talented tattoo artist. Shout out also to Billy Rake, who did most of my tattoos as well. Do you guys have plans? What are you gonna get?
I have no idea what.
I feel like Tayla should be completely covered in tattoos by the end of the year.
Okay.
A big dragon just coming up the side,
That's what you want?
wrapped around. I'd do
Oh,
it.
for her or for you?
For her.
Oh, I thought you meant for you. I was like, cool. Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't really thought too much about it.
well, you guys aren't living. Livin. You guys start living.
I gotta get an RMMA tattoo somewhere.
You in?
Yeah,
I'll do it.
I'm all in.
Don't tempt me.
I know Kenny's in
What are you
too.
I
gonna
know.
get? The logo?
I was thinking of.
I mean, I already got that on me. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
so you already have
covered.
That. Yeah.
But I could do something cool with my leg. I do. I've always wanted like a jujitsu, thing. I'm very proud of my Team Kern, Jeff Kern tattoo. Anyone see that? It's right on my arm. I got this tattooed on me as a purple belt. I believe I was that committed.
Oh wow.
It's like I know I'm not going anywhere. I'm training for life.
Mm-hmm.
Very proud of that. But I would like to maybe get like a whole jujitsu, thing going on. I got
A whole jujitsu arm.
yeah, jujitsu arm. So like, yeah, we'll think of something. But in general, I think it's time. I haven't gotten a tattoo in years.
Yeah, it's been a while for me,
I would
too.
like to get some tattoos this year before the year's end.
I'm kind of nervous if I do get it because then I get addicted.
You do?
Yeah,
I do.
like I'll-
yeah, look at me. I'm an idiot. My whole
You
back
get
is
one-
covered.
You get one, and it's like, oh,
Look at my
shit.
back. Anyone seen this? There's a lot of tattoos. And it's like,
I like
paint-
the leg one too.
yeah,
That
I
one's
want,
probably
so that's what I'm going to
from
do
that
is I'm
side.
going to finish my leg.
Which leg is this?
I don't remember. Yeah. And, but yeah, I definitely get a little addicted to it. But what I have noticed, and I noticed this the last time I got some of my leg done, was that I'm not as tough as I was when I was like your age, when I was like 25, 26. I was so much tougher. Hey, he's almost done.
new
He's
man.
We're stalling for you. We wanted to make sure we finished the show with you. Get over here. You want to just sit by me? All right.
Check
4.
the
Check,
camera.
check, Mike. So we just want to close it out
Check, Mike, 1, 2,
together
1,
as a
2.
team.
You're good. Nice haircut.
You look
Looking
great.
spiffy.
Let's look in the mirror. Or in
Both of
the,
you guys.
Oh man,
Fresh
some
cut.
good looking guys.
hey,
right there.
let's show our handshake real quick. Right? Wait, hold on. This is our handshake. We got to do it with our right hands. We got to make sure we're in the camera. I don't know. Maybe
I
gotta
said
go
make sure
lower.
you're over here a little bit more. The sound.
The Siamese twins.
It's called the Siamese twins. We just collect heads and we keep them together. If you weren't watching, if you're just listening,
Just so you guys know, you're not as cool as us.
yeah, it's a very
Jeez.
I don't. I guarantee it's original. No one does this.
No one's that cool.
We usually follow each other out.
Yeah, and then we walk out the door together.
I follow Joey home. Like this handshake's gone a little far.
One time the handshake lasted for 3 weeks.
People thought we were actual Siamese twins.
Yeah. I mean, one of my goals is for us to really combine brains. Oh God, that'd be terrible. It's a lot of Legos in
Oh,
there.
it's scary in there.
So we were just talking about tattoos and stuff. We're finishing up. We're really just stalling. So
Nice.
you're done.
I can use a tattoo.
Yeah, you don't have a single one,
Yeah,
huh?
no.
This
Oh,
is a
really?
pure body.
Wow. Yep.
Why is that? Do you think?
I'm a man of Christ.
To me, that's always funny. Farty laugh. Do you honestly? Is there a reason why you never got one, or is it just like no plan, like nothing you wanted to get?
Yeah, no, I'd get a Buddha.
Would you?
Yep,
I
get
got
a
a
Buddha.
bunch. Yeah, would you?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Let's tat you up,
Yep,
baby.
Yep. I get original Buddha. I get Siddhartha.
I mean, it's all Buddha, baby.
Yeah. it's
A
all
Buddha,
the same.
Buddha's just a word.
Buddha's just a word, baby.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's get you tatted up.
Let's do it.
So that's a team plan. Anyone else? We'll put that out there. Anyone else who wants to get a team tattoo? I think we'll get a tattoo artist in the building.
Yes.
We'll do a tattoo party.
Do it.
It'd be fun.
Tattoo party.
Yeah, this was Kenny's idea. I'm not. I'm gonna let him have credit for
I
it.
like it.
Yeah, and then Phil suggested a lock-in. where we stay here all night. We watch
Why
movies.
are we doing this? 'Cause I thought we
Have you
were-
heard about this?
No.
we were
You didn't hear about
locked.
All right, I forgot to tell you guys, the doors are locked. We
are locked
We
in
can't get
now.
out to the
It
morning.
is tonight.
No, we Phil's wanted to do a lock-in for so long, and I feel like it's one of those things that's hard to plan.
We
It's
have,
like,
we have a
let's
projector.
just- yeah, we're gonna watch movies. We're gonna roll. It's gonna be fun.
Mario Kart.
It's an adult sleepover.
Yeah, that's 100% what it is.
Can I bring Legos?
So I was like,
Please.
You
if
can bring your toys,
Yeah.
but you have to share.
bring the Kong. We were talking. I was talking yesterday. That was actually today. Oh my gosh, today with TJ, and I was like, because TJ is a very sweet young man. He's just turned 15. He's got his driver's permit. He's driving around. He's like a young man, and at that age, I'm like, hey man, like. We're just talking because we walk together all day. I buy him Jersey Mike's every day.
Yep.
And all this time, I'm like, I gotta get to know you better. I'm like, TJ, what do you like? You like, what movies you watch? What TV shows? He's like, nothing. I was like, you gotta have something like a movie. Do you
Yep.
like movies and stuff? Like, I don't really watch any movies. I was like, come on,
He
like
games.
I was like, no, I don't. Well, maybe he does, but I was like, come on, tell me something. Like, do you watch like funny movies? Did you watch Chris Farley growing up? Did you watch, Adam Sandler? He's
Yep.
like, oh, I've seen The Waterboy. And I died. I was like, yeah, you did see The Waterboy.
What an innocent man.
Yeah, so I think we need to do a movie night
Mm-hmm.
and put on some really good movies that I think like TJ needs to know about.
Yeah.
So if anyone has some suggestions that a 15-year-old kid needs to watch, what movies that a 50-year-old needs to be cultured, I'm thinking like as a rite of passage to be a man. I'm thinking more like action movies. I don't know what you're thinking.
Honestly, it's just funny to laugh and say nothing and just have it be like just
To your
leave
own
it out there to
imagination.
everybody, what it is.
Yeah, TJ's awesome. All right, guys, this is it. So, we already talked about the plan for coming up. We got a bunch of cool shit in May. And then the last thing I did say, I think I mentioned it today on the Instagram, was our summer camp for the kids.
Yeah.
We got to start planning it, putting it
Summer
out
camp.
there.
I've had some people asking me about it.
Oh, yeah?
Mhm.
What should we do? Should we do a day or should we do a week? Should we do
A month.
a morning?
A
morning.
full
It's a-
month.
it's a-
The full summer.
Because like a summer camp before, we were going to do it where it was like a day camp thing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of options, but I want to make sure we
Well-
plan it out well.
Yeah.
Last time we ended up just doing like a day, like a Saturday.
Yeah.
It could be a weekend camp. It should be a bunch of different options, but I want to plan that out and put it out there as soon as we can because it's already
Summer's
like
coming.
it's coming really quick.
Sooner the better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Any last closing? Let's do a closing thoughts. We'll start with you, Kyle.
Thanks for joining us with the podcast. Very fun one. Good training.
The haircut looks fantastic.
Thank you. It's good to review the tournaments, and we'll try to keep it up a little bit more consistent now.
That's our goal. Yes.
Yeah.
Next episode is going to be episode 30.
Episode 30. That's a good number.
We don't have a nickname for someone named 30, but we do have a nickname for
For
someone
40.
named 40. And
Yeah.
40 said he'll only do the podcast on episode 40.
I like that.
Originally, I wanted him to do it tonight. I was like, hey, do the podcast while you cut my hair. He's like, nope, not until 40.
Put a lav mic on him.
Yeah. He's like, not until 40.
That's cool.
So we'll do it then. I won't get a haircut until then.
Just gotta hold off.
10 episodes. We can do that quick.
Jay, any final closing thoughts? How you doing?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Feeling good?
Body's feeling halfway decent. Doing the stand-up
Glutes are
module
good.
as good as it could.
My glutes are active.
My glutes have been active.
I've been activating these glutes the entire
Oh
conversation.
man, the squeezes. Yeah, just make sure you wake up your glutes, people. That's my final thought.
My sleepy glutes syndrome.
Sleepy glute syndrome is real.
How about this would be a better way to do it. Favorite moments from the last tournaments that we've been discussing today? And it could be just a favorite moment.
I think the favorite moment has to be Ronnie's win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The photo of you and Tayla and Kenny and Pete, that's an
Simon,
epic
yeah.
photo. It's one of my favorite photos of all time. I am going to definitely frame it and put it up somewhere because it's such a great photo.
Truly epic.
You look like Wolverine,
Yeah.
just screaming. I love it. Taylor's like, and Kenny's like, no, I think Pete's like, fuck you. I know you can do it. That's what it looked like. It's great. That's a good moment. That's your favorite moment?
Yeah,
And
I
like the
think so.
feeling of that was so good.
Oh my
Like,
God.
There's-
just the community that we've that you've built here,
Right,
and
yeah.
it's just so
It takes
crazy.
a whole. It takes a village.
They say.
The
So
dog
they say.
is a part of it. I'm so glad everyone like talks about like Orlando. I was so happy when I heard Orlando, like thank you for coaching.
I appreciate it a lot too. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Makes
Like
me feel
it
good,
made me feel good. Like
Yep.
that. Like there's everyone sees like the value in the people around the school.
Yep.
But thank you for saying that. But I always wanted to like make sure it's not about me or about anyone. It's
about
a
us.
school. Yeah.
Crew.
Yeah.
I always say we and us no matter what, and I like that. I'm gonna keep doing it.
I only say when I'm doing it.
Yeah. I did this.
Yeah, I do everything.
Yeah, I know
Well,
you do.
I'm going to close out the podcast. Thank you, everybody.
Yeah.
This has been episode 29. Thank you guys for being our first repeat guests.
Oh yeah, that's
Thank
true.
You. Yeah,
That was
thank
really
you for
good.
having us the second time around.
This has been episode 29. Thank you for joining us, everybody.
See you on 30.
Keep it rolling.